Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. I'm Jeff, that's Tom, and a fine libations Friday to you and yours. Yeah. Loosey-goosey edition of the program. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free, always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, we got you. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault every day upon the conclusion of the show. That's what you get. When you go there, you'll find that you listen back to that podcast with limited commercial interruption thanks to our great podcast sponsor, the folks at SVN and CarltonDean.com. Carlton Dean, the knowledge, the know-how, the experience, the support, the company that can, help you make money in commercial real estate. Go to CarltonDean.com to learn more. Email the show if you like, jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app works for your mobile devices. That's a good thing, whether it's Android or iPhone. Doesn't matter. You're good to go with the WTSM app. You can always email the show if you want. It's jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. And if you want to watch the show performed, go to YouTube and type in ESPN Tallahassee. You'll find us there. Hello, YouTubers. I hope you're well. Florida State takes on Wake Forest, and this is the start of the home stretch. You just heard Lee Gordon there. These are the final games, and I don't know what to think about this at this point. I am always, at this juncture of the year, we live our life with these seasons, right? And I'm not just talking about the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, that. I'm talking about the sports, and we kind of live and die with our teams. And, right around this time, we're usually looking at Seminole baseball and wondering, is this the year? Are they going back to Omaha? Is this the type of team that has a chance to win it all, to finally bring home a national title? Is it a team that we should rightfully expect to make a super regional at the very least, and maybe even host and give yourself a chance, again, best possible opportunity to get out to Omaha? All you can ever do is hope to get out to Omaha. Once you're there, it's kind of a crapshoot, but you got to give yourself chances. And with great frequency, Florida State as a program, Mike Martin as a coach, and of course the many great players that came through this program helped provide those opportunities year in and year out all throughout the 90s. It has been decidedly less so in the 2000s, and that has been a point of contention and frustration for all of us just 3 times since 2000. And this doesn't look like one of those teams. Ordinarily, we would say, well, they got a shot. All right, let's see if they go back, and maybe this will be the time things work out. They're a little weak here, they're strong there, but this could be the answer. And maybe if we get the right matchup, or we're a top 8 national seed, hosting will help all of that out. Well, this hasn't been that kind of year. It's been a team that has been, at times, stricken with poor health. They have had a lot of unfortunate set of circumstances that can't be blamed on anything but dumb luck. Players getting hurt on a follow-through with a throw, guys that are in their 20s with shin splints and weird things that just make you roll your eyes and think, shingles on a 20-something-year-old? What are we doing here? Yeah, all that's true. They also haven't been good enough. They don't do a lot of things exceptionally well. Now, they do hit the ball, and they do get on base. And that offense does put pressure on opposing defenses. So you're hanging your hat on that, but even that took a hit this week when we found out that Mr. Applin is gone basically for the rest of the season, and he's been pretty much your most consistent offensive weapon. So it seems like it's been a series of unfortunate events, and there have been some poor coaching moves along the way. I've documented that, given you my opinion on that. The way that they have misused Drew Carlton has led to a lot of consternation for me. But in fairness, Drew Carlton is not Dwight Gooden. It's not like Drew Carlton's going to roll out there and just throw bullets and dominate, and we'll all say, Eureka, what the hell we've been doing here. He's okay. He's better than your other options for the most part. And on the whole, though, this is a team that lacks quality pitching. That doesn't change as we go into a big weekend series against Wake Forest. It's a team that lacks, some of the elements that you watch from the better teams, which is a consistency running the bases, It's a consistency on defense. It's playing big in the big moments, although some of that is random, and baseball tends to kind of dictate terms there as opposed to will. But I don't know what to think as we get down the stretch here, whether to have hope, whether to invest, or to absolutely embrace my suspicion, which is that this team's going to kind of whimper out as they have throughout the course of the season. They'll give you a win or two that might raise your hopes for a moment. They may give you a series win this weekend against a quality Wake Forest opponent. That could happen. But what looms large is a 3-game set on the road against Louisville, a team that is waiting in the weeds to I shouldn't even say waiting in the weeds. Everybody knows they're good. But waiting to pounce on Florida State, much like the football team did. And I don't foresee that series going very well. And then the next thing you know, you're in the ACC tournament. So if you're grasping, if you're reaching for something, a glimmer, I don't know that I'm there. And I will say, Tom, I haven't been in that position. I'm oddly, because some people would describe me as pretty cynical and pretty jaded and pretty negative at times. I don't know that I am, but some people would describe that because we have the task of talking honestly and openly about the things that are good and bad with our teams. And we strive to do that. Sometimes that's perceived as negative because we're not just waving the flag at all times. But I don't know that there's been a team in a number of years. There have been some bad teams. That team a couple of years ago, we were just like, this team sucks. But I still held on to some hope that they could get by because they were hosting or what. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm reaching for here.
Well, maybe the heavy stuff on a Libations Friday. Maybe that's what you're reaching for. You know, I don't know what a show would sound like if it was all positive all the time. I don't think it would be well received.
It would sound like Mike and Mike in the morning.
However, after listening to your thoughts, and I agree with 100% of them, 98% of them, if not, yeah, I mean, there's not much reason to expect this team to flip a switch and become the dominant team that, you know, we hoped it would be on opening day. But it does hit, and if the bats don't go quiet and they don't go cold,
get a shot, yeah,
then they could go pretty far. They could surprise some people and turn some heads. And you know, the thing about the pitching, too, is it's not a matter of stuff as it has been in the past. Not on the same level. You know, I'm recalling, I went back actually yesterday in the evening. I was listening to the completion of Seminole Headlines. You guys were talking about assessing the baseball team in that first segment from, you know, category to category.
Yeah.
You're talking about offense, which they do have, and then all the things they don't have. And even Corey, you know, he chimed in when you're talking about base running, and he said, well, they're not awful at base running. And I stopped for a moment and thought, wow, so that's the standard now. You know, like, I agree. They're not as bad as they have been.
Oh, they've been worse, yeah. They've had,
but
they really had two glaring instances this year where it caused us to wring our hands. But by and large, they're not nearly as bad as they have been in the past with that.
Correct. But if they're average best on the bases, I mean, that's what we're dealing with now. If their starting rotation boasts these types of numbers, because the numbers don't lie at this point in the season. I don't want to be a slave to the statistics, but at this point
in
the
year,
you
have enough games under your belt. Yeah.
Yes, you do. That's what the unique thing about baseball. You play 50, 60 games. You got a pretty good idea who you are. And what this team is right now is one that needs to hit its way to Omaha if that could even exist as a
the
scenario.
problem with that, though, too, Tom, is, and you're right, they have to hit their way to Omaha. I mean, fat chance that's going to happen. But having said that, the problem with relying on your offense in the game of baseball, period, is that great pitching shuts down great hitting. Always. Like, it, not even a little bit, always. If a guy is dominant, he's dominant, and you're done. And I don't care if you're the 27 Yankees. If somebody's dealing on the black and they have it that day, you're done. And so I just think they'll run into that more than once in the postseason, and that'll be that.
Ira brought up in that first segment, too, something that we had talked about a couple of days earlier, which was, you know, you're not likely going to be a 1 seed. So what do you do on that Friday night? You don't have an ace, so you don't have to worry about that discussion.
I was going to say, it doesn't really matter.
But, you know, it's not the gimme game.
I'd throw Jim Voiles.
Would you?
I'm saving my bullets, Tom.
That's right. You knew it. He just needed to keep his arm in check for the first 3 months of the year, and now it's time to unleash the beast. I don't know. You know, a lot of times we'll talk about baseball being baseball, and that's what's got to help Florida State to get where it needs to go these last 3-4 seasons, and that's really frustrating and probably more indicting than anything else you can say. But typically we would say maybe the bats get hot because it was about impotence from a power standpoint, or you were going up against Florida and Gainesville and they had power arms, and so the approach was going to have to be abandoned early because they're going to pour in 94, 95 down the heart of the plate and say, sure, you want to take strikes?
Yeah,
here's strike one, here's strike two.
Well, they actually did a good job of abandoning that approach when they faced teams this year that pour strikes. They'll be aggressive and they'll swing. They'll swing on 0-1. They'll swing on 1-0. They'll swing on first pitch of a bat. If that's the MO, it hadn't helped them, and not against Florida.
Yeah, this year that's not the problem. Now you're saying, can the arms get hot? Can they find something? Because Sands has the stuff. Holton's been much better than the last 6 weeks would suggest. For in his career, he's gone through stretches against good competition, and he's missed bats.
Yeah,
and he's gotten you into the seventh inning.
Yeah,
it's just that they're trending in the wrong way. Holton was by far through the first 2 months of the year your ace. He just happened to be pitching on Saturdays. And then slowly, quietly, as we're talking about, Carlton's misuse and what Parrish is or isn't and what Carp is or isn't, then he kept on turning in average performance after average performance until now it's ballooned to a place where you go, do you have anybody? Do you have anybody you trust on a Friday to start a regional? I still think it's the guy in the bullpen, but somebody's got to step up.
Well,
that sounds like such a cliche, but if you're talking about a scenario by which you make it to a super.
Happen. It can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen occasionally. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Nobody thought that Drew Carlton would perform the way that he did down in Gainesville a year ago. That performance seemed to come out of nowhere. I mean, that was stunning.
And you hoped it was a launching point. We just never got to see if it was or not.
Well, again, I want to be careful that I don't describe him as like this hidden gem that's being locked away in the bullpen and that all will be right as soon as we start him, because he's not that. But he is a better option than I think he's a better option than what you've had. They disagree, obviously. I mean, they must vehemently didisagree because they refuse to allow it to happen.
Well, okay, here would be the analogy for the offensive side. You're going to play the 240 hitter or the 280 hitter. The 280 hitter isn't somebody who's hitting 360 and winning a batting title.
It's not Tony Gwynn rolling out there.
But he's a 280 freaking hitter. It's 40 points better than you got.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I'll tell you what. I saw something last night that even if you hate the NBA and don't watch it, would intrigue you. I saw something last night that I don't think I've ever seen. I'm 45 years old, kiddies. I've been watching the NBA and been watching the NBA postseason since 1980. Yeah, I don't think I watched in 79. So around 1980, 81, I can start remembering those postseasons. I can remember the Sixers and the Celtics and those kinds of postseasons. I remember the Sixers championship in the early 80s. So I'll go back that, or Chocolate Thunder, all that. I've never seen somebody in a post. I've seen a star have a bad game. I've seen superstars play terribly. I mean, just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, get frustrated, start jacking up dumb shots, and really cost their team dearly and be criticized for it. I've seen guys clearly try to play through an injury and they just didn't have it, and they were steps slow, and they were made to look bad. And the talk afterwards was, well, that guy did his team more harm than good by insisting that he be out there. And a coach can't bench a superstar if he's going to suit up and say he's ready to play. And he should have thought big picture. He really was selfish in this instance. I've seen all those scenarios. I've seen a guy rise up out of nowhere, a sixth man, become a superstar and drop 40 in a finals game and become the MVP and dominate a guy who was the better player throughout the course of a season. I've seen wild scenarios that had us all talking about how could that happen. Oh, my goodness, they blew a 2-0 series lead. I've seen I've seen it. I've never seen that. James Harden last night looked like a guy on the take, and I'm not so sure he wasn't. I'm looking at a scenario by which, if I don't hear otherwise, I think he took money to throw the game. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was crazy watching that guy not care. This sounds very, Stephen A. Smith-esque, over the top, just crazy sensationalism. No. I'm serious. I was blown away by what I saw last night. I thought, and I'll say it again, I thought this looked like a guy who was on the take.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
That or on drugs, or I sound like an old person on drugs, but I don't.
The kids in their drugs.
I don't know. I've never seen an MVP candidate, although he's not a real MVP candidate, but an MVP candidate that takes over games offensively, carries a team's offense, which is prolific. Those numbers are those numbers. That's over the course of 82 games and on into the playoffs. Those numbers don't lie. They score. He scores. He is a fierce offensive weapon. That guy, while not a complete player, doesn't bother to defend anybody ever, is a pure scorer and does attempt to do just that, game in and game out. And I saw a guy who, in the most critical of moments, his team up against it at home against an injury-riddled San Antonio team without their best player and their only all-star. I saw a guy not just go through the motions, because that's happened before too. No, I saw a guy not try at all.
Juxtapose that to one of his comments earlier in the season when the NBA had the big debate about resting players and what, the responsibility is of a franchise if they're on the road to play their superstars, because that's who people pay to see. And he said, I'll rest when I'm retired. So did he retire in around 3 minutes to go in Game 5 of this series and then stay retired through the end of last night's game?
Haberstroh wrote about this, Tom, today, and it's early in the article, and I just pulled it up since we're talking about it now. After a dreadful season-ending performance in Game 6 in front of his home crowd, Harden was accused of quitting by several Hall of Famers. According to Stephen A. Smith on SportsCenter, Smith went on to say that Harden looked drugged on the court and there needs to be an investigation. Okay, well, I hadn't read that part, but whatever. Okay, it's one of those rare times where that kind of hyperbole does seem applicable. Chris Haynes, a tweet from ESPN's Chris Haynes, says, a text from a league executive asks, has an NBA player ever been investigated for point shaving? Okay, that was tweeted. And so obviously that's not ideal. I mean, that's not a good look for the league. It's not. How about this? It's something he'll never recover from. That he is never, unless we learn that the dude was really hurt or suffered a family tragedy of some kind off the court that has been kept private. And if that's the case, then throw away everything I just said, and I'll leave him alone and all that. And everybody who said the same thing last night will probably have to step back and say, okay. But he didn't allude to any of those things at the press conference last night.
No, and D'Antoni.
He also, go ahead.
D'Antoni was asked about it in the press conference last night, and he said, no, not to my knowledge. I mean, he had a cold he was dealing with for a little while, but other than that, you'll have to ask him because he was fine.
Well, and also he was asked about, he said they couldn't get into a rhythm, and he couldn't get into a rhythm. Overrated nonsense anyhow, but talked about couldn't get into a rhythm. And then he talked about getting other players involved. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense he spewed last night about, well, I passed the ball a few times and guys just couldn't make shots. Well, okay, so not only were you the worst player on the floor last night in the most meaningful of moments, MVP candidate that you championed as well as your organization, but you just rolled your teammates after that performance?
He had 6 turnovers in the first half. What, did he take 2 shots in the first half?
2. That guy, again, short of an inexplicable set of circumstances we do not know about that would lead to the kind of depression or mourning or something that would affect a basketball game, a performance of a professional to this degree, or an illness, if he doesn't have that to fall back on, if that's not there, this is the greatest choke job and embarrassing performance a superstar player has ever had in a meaningful postseason game.
But is it a choke job if he quit? If he quit on his team, which is something you can't come back from either.
Yeah, actually, that's a better way of describing it because it's not choking because he wasn't trying.
Because something weird happened at the end of Game 5. He turned the ball over twice in overtime.
Well, I thought he was tired at the end of Game 5. I chalked that up to he was exhausted.
There was another moment, though, and this is in overtime, when he's calling for a high screen and the screener doesn't come up. He shrugs his shoulders at his teammates. He gets angry, and then he jacks up a 30-footer with about 6 seconds to go on the shot clock rather than try and drive. But, it's over by the scores table that he's looking for the screen to get set up. I thought that odd, and it really wasn't the focus of what the analysts were talking about in the flow of the game because it was still a close game. Nobody was making a bucket in overtime, and then eventually Ginobili, makes the block, and that becomes the storyline of how the game ended. But in the flow of the broadcast, I thought, So you're going to tell me in the key moments of a Game 5 that's likely going to determine the winner of this series that you don't get a high screen coming for you and you're going to jack up a 30-footer
And quit?
after physically emoting that you've quit on your team this possession.
Well, but he did it last night, too, in the midst of this nightmare performance in which he's 2 of 11. He fouls out. He scores 10 points. He's useless. He's a non-factor. He doesn't hustle back on defense. And I don't mean in the usual way of not wanting to stay in front of people. I mean, he's not there. He's not there on the offensive end either. There's time they're going 4-on-5. Literally, you can go watch the tape. There's 4. You can't find him on your screen. He's quitting. I don't know. Well, first of all, if you're D'Antoni, I would have pulled his ass. I mean, you only need so much evidence.
Well, again, that was also interesting that he was asked on the dais in the postgame. And you'd think if he has any incentive to defend his player in that moment, he would scream from the mountaintops everything that was wrong in the moment, and it not just to say, well, you have to ask him beyond the cold. I think he had a cold, but you'll have to ask him if there's anything else to it.
But here's the thing, too. If it's a guy, let's say there are all kinds of theories out there today that he was exhausted, that he just ran out of gas. It's as simple as that. He just didn't have anything left in the tank. Man, come on. I've never seen a superstar player at his age in the shape that he's in all year long running as they did and who is quoted as, I'm a hooper. I just want to hoop. I'll rest when I'm done. I feel like my teammates and organization need me out there. I'll do whatever I have to, quote, unquote. That's him. Okay, all those things that he's talked about and said, no, not to that degree. You're not just, you're tired? We're going with retired.
You only play one half of the court.
I mean, we're falling back on he was tired? Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. He was tired. Well, if he's tired, then he's of no use to you when you get into the postseason. We're not even in the finals. What was he going to be what if they got to the finals? Can't go, guys. Woo! I am pooped. What a year. I'm just beat. LeBron tired, Steph tired, Jordan tired, Bird tired, Magic tired. No. This guy's talked about as a superstar. None of tired. No.
Rich Harden would have been of more use tonight to the Houston Rockets.
I mean, you would have been. It was crazy.
I'll try.
Yes.
Pay me some money. I'll try.
You may miss those shots, but you'll be on.
I'll take them.
I can find you on the screen. I don't know, man. And if he quit, if it's just as simple as that he was upset that he didn't get what he wanted, you can't have him on your team. Like, you'd have to get rid of him. You'd have to let him go. I know that sounds preposterous. I wouldn't want him around me. I wouldn't want him around my teammates. I wouldn't want it's inexplicable. I've never seen anything like it. That's why I say, even if you're disinterested in the NBA postseason, even if you don't even care about who wins the San Antonio-Houston series, and there are plenty of people listening now who don't, this is just a weird set of circumstances involving a alleged superstar player doing something I've never seen before in the postseason.
This set of circumstances is so bizarre that a Stephen A. Smith typical take actually fits.
Yeah.
As a normal response.
Maybe understated. I was yelling stuff at this. Okay, I don't care.
Stephen A., you're not loud enough about this one.
No, you need to, let's ratchet it up a little bit here, man. Now is not the time to be subdued. What I'm saying is, I don't even care who wins that series. I didn't, because to me, neither of them have a chance to beat Golden State. Hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see like a 7-game war and, San Antonio give them a series. It'd be great. Just in the interest of like seeing great competition in the postseason for once. Anyhow, that said, I didn't care, but I was curious to see how soon it would get out of control, because I'm always intrigued by Popovich, who is a fierce competitor and a proud man, who I have a sense, my suspicion was, probably wanted this game secretly more than he's wanted a lot of bigger games, right? Like the other bigger games he's coached in, like in the finals, he probably wanted this game more because it's the ultimate show of his coaching prowess and acumen, right?
Prowess, if you will.
Take the scrubs. I mean, my only all-star and chance of winning the series is on the bench. If I roll into Houston with this ragtag group and find a way to beat this team, just adding to my legend, right? Guys like this love those opportunities. So I thought, well, it'll be interesting. I bet San Antonio is going to come out and test Houston's will, because Pop is going to give them some great speech. He's going to have something for them. He'll have something waiting, some bit of strategy we haven't seen, because he always does. He will have had to do something on the fly. I was curious to see what he was going to do. And I don't know what we get 10 minutes into this game, and I went, they might win.
Yeah.
Like, this is a problem.
You get a few minutes into the second quarter and you go, oh, wait a minute. I'm waiting for that counter run gets the fans going.
Not happening.
It's not forthcoming here.
Well, and about midway through the second, I go, this Harden character is checked the hell out. I mean, this is unbelievable.
There was a basket on an offensive rebound where it's like 1-on-3 and San Antonio has the one player and it's a putback. And it underscored how, for whatever reason, in game one, when they put two bigs on the court, they got smoked. Then they played smaller, and they were successful in game two. But they played two bigs last night, and Aldridge was spectacular. And it looked like Houston was down 3-0 in their own building last night.
Yeah, like they were going through the motions because it was a done deal.
You
right?
can force a game 7 and take this thing.
Remarkable.
Take the respect that people aren't giving you.
We got to go to break. But by the way, the follow-up question to Harden after he said what he did about, I'll rest when I'm done, I'm a true hooper. I just want to play and be out there for my teammates in the organization. The follow-up to that was a reporter asking Harden if Mike D'Antoni would try to sit him and save energy for the playoffs at the time that the question was happening. His response was, Mike knows not to come at me with that nonsense. So if you're giving me tired, man, you're a paper tiger. You're nothing. You're garbage. He's offensive. I told you I don't get offended. He's offensive. That's ridiculous. And then I'm talking about within the realm of competition. To shut it down? Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Club has to offer. Guest dates are Monday, May 15th and Sunday, May 21st. Making up your mind just became a lot easier. Contact Lori Wilkie, General Manager at lwilkie@KillarnCountryClub.com today to reserve your pass. Now is your chance to experience Killarn Country Club's Junior Olympic-sized pool, recently new surface tennis courts, and the 18-hole magnificent championship golf course. Don't wait. Contact Lori Wilkie today to make your reservation for either Monday, May 15th or Sunday, May 21st. That's lwilkie@KillarnCountryClub.com.
Staples knows that when your spreadsheets no longer spread, it's time. When your presentations are not presentable, it's time. And when tensions in the office are high,
no, tensions are very, very high.
It's definitely time. And it's times like these when pros turn to Staples. Staples has the latest HP and Dell PCs at great prices every day. And when you buy a new printer or PC at Staples, you get 30 days free tech support. So with Staples' help, your business won't miss a beat. Staples, it's pro time.
This Mother's Day, let Jared turn your feelings into jewelry. Jewelry that tells her she's the best thing that ever happened to you in a way that goes beyond words. It could be a piece jewelry designers created just for Jared, or a piece we custom made just for you. Because we're more than a store that sells beautiful jewelry. We're jewelers. The one unique gift that makes her Mother's Day unforgettable. That's why he went to Jared.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Our lifetime warranty is a game changer for buying cars in Tallahassee and Thomasville. You already know it extends the factory powertrain for unlimited time and unlimited miles. But here are the facts. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty is backed by Great American Insurance Company, an A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan's service department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. Thirsty? They have the Lucky Sevens. $7 domestic pitchers after 7 p.m., 7 days a week, $7.95. Daily specials. Locally owned and operated since 1978. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill. 3 locations to choose from. 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Rapid Fire. We went 27 minutes in the opening segment because I am just absolutely apoplectic about James Harden. I don't know what to tell you. I'm offended. Loser. That freaking guy, that's ridiculous.
It was
is.
shocking.
It's crazy.
Yes, because
it's shocking. I'm not going to spend all day on it, but it's shocking.
There's always the run to answer the run. And it never came. They didn't hit 50 points till what? A couple minutes left in the third quarter?
So, admittedly, I'm 15 years older than you. We do this every now and again, but can you have a comparison? Do you have a moment in time in sports history? I'm not talking about playing poorly. That's the whole thing. There's a big difference between playing poorly and just, straight up quitting, not trying when your team is on the brink of an elimination. I haven't seen it.
I know you jump on me just for the first clause, but trust me, it makes sense.
I'm going to get there with you.
Okay. LeBron against the Mavs, what he did in turtling.
Yeah, he turtled, but he was not quitting.
Exactly. Yes, he was not. It's what LeBron haters attribute that performance to. But this is actually what it looks like when it happens.
But this isn't turtling. This is quitting. This is crazy.
No, people, they said LeBron didn't want any of it, the whole nine.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
This is what you think that looks like. The Harden performance is what you think that looks like.
This looks like a guy throwing a game.
Yeah.
This transcends playing poorly, shrinking in the moment, being fearful to take the big shot. I've seen that. We've watched guys who we didn't think were capable of doing that. Guys who we thought would always rise up and take that shot and want the ball in those situations. Most superstars demand the ball in situations in which the game is on the line because they're alpha dogs. These are the guys that have won the game for their team since they were 10 years old, 8 years old. They've dominated on the court at all times. Whatever the sport, that's the guy. If you're a receiver, even your prima donna receivers, give me the ball. Well, they're shading the. I don't throw it up. I'll get it. Get me the damn ball. These are the guys that come to the sideline and flip out on the OC, right? I mean, all of the superstars do that. it can be annoying even that they do it to a point where you say, stand down, dude. There are other people on your team here, man. You can take anybody out of a game if you want to. This wasn't that. None of that is applicable here. This is a guy looking like he took money to throw a game.
The last time I can remember people throwing it around, they weren't as serious, I don't think, as in this case. But remember Boyd up in Clemson in 2013? He was so rattled that people thought, is he on the take?
Oh,
that became a thing. That became
really?
a thing. Yeah, up there. I mean,
you mean Clemson fans?
Yeah.
Did. Well, they wanted to explain away why their team got bent over in front of a national audience in the biggest game they'd ever played. No, I mean that's fine. No reasonable person thought that guy was on the take. They just realized Florida State was infinitely superior and it wasn't close, and it was across the board better in every way imaginable. This is
outside of boxing. Can you think of some?
No.
That's crazy because you do have an encyclopedic knowledge of
big
major sports.
Yeah, no, I can't think of a guy. People may find some. They'll find instances in which a big time player in any sport came up very, very small, and they may be able to point to some false equivalents. Right? They'll say, well, what about that time so and so scored 2 points in Game 7? I'm not talking about having a bad game or really looking bad, shrinking in a moment in which it's all on you and your team is relying on you and you come up small. That happens. It's not the same as looking like a guy who's on the take.
I think the hard thing, though, is I think this is so bad, this performance, that he couldn't possibly be on the take because if you're shaving points.
Yeah, you got to make it look realistic.
Yes.
You got to purposely miss here and there. You got to keep it interesting. Yeah.
You got to do what you do
you
for the bulk
of the game.
You
can't get beat by 39.
Yeah, people can't get a whiff of it.
Right.
And this, from start to finish, was a completely removed, detached performance.
That's why I say I seriously – it's funny – there are headlines across the country and all of the various sports sites. And a lot of times when we show prep, I spend time trying not to I don't want to steal somebody else's take, first of all. But sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Sometimes there's the truth.
Well, we're all watching the same damn thing, right? I mean, that's why comedians often have the problem of, creating jokes that are very similar around the same topic. I mean, the president's the president. You're going to make certain jokes and observations about Trump that are going to be obvious to all the other comedians too, and you might accidentally trample over one another. And that's with any sitting president, by the way. That happens. You'll hear a joke, and you're like, well, that's very similar to so-and-so's joke, because the mannerisms, the speaking patterns, the diction, all that is the same. So you're going to notice these things. You're observing the same thing. So as I went through these headlines today, I was trying to find – were there any that were would they convey the same sorts of, incredulous and bizarre sort of over-the-top hyperbole that I was engaging in while watching the game last night and that I was feeling when I came into work today looking at just the topic? And there are. Lots of them, whether it's ESPN or Yahoo or CBS or something like Deadspin, which is annoying, but just looking at headlines, right? One of their headlines is, seriously, what the hell happened to James Harden last night? That's a headline. People don't know how to answer the question, and he didn't do a good job of answering the question. He didn't get angry with anybody. I'll give him credit for standing there and listening to the question and trying to give an answer, and none of the answers made all that much sense. Just he usually deferred and said something along the lines of, well, I couldn't get into a rhythm. Fine, other than when he was rolling his teammates at the beginning of the interview, which was not a good look. I don't know. I'm going to believe that by the time we get off the air, we're going to have a better answer, that it's going to come out. Some PR guy is going to have to figure out something. Seriously, this is where it gets
his branding manager, yes.
The fallout of something like this is that your career is ruined. Somebody listening to this, get the hell out of here, Jeff. He was incredible over the course of a full season. Fine. This turns out to be an empty campaign for him, right? And nobody will trust him again. It'll come up every time somebody starts talking in glowing terms about Harden. People go, oh, really? You want to bring up the regular season game last night, do you? They're gonna scoff, right? If you're the Rockets and you don't think he quit on you, maybe you know something we don't know, there is some sort of tragedy. I was going to say, you got to do something to help this guy out right now because he's getting killed today. If they don't.
Right, then there is nothing. And then that tells you, that we need to ask questions about away from the organization. But D'Antoni had a chance last night. If you're a player's coach, you love your player, and your player has a bet, you might even make something up just to take the heat off his back. You may go on a tirade to take the attention away from him and put it on you. But he was given a chance last night, and the best he come up with is, well, sometimes you have the stuff, sometimes you don't. And, I know he was dealing with a little bit of a cold, but outside of that, you'll have to ask him.
I would have said, if I cared about him and I thought this was I thought there was any legitimacy to something that, that maybe the public didn't know about, there was something that I was privy to or I suspected but wasn't sure of, and I care deeply about what's going to happen to his future within my organization and for my team, I'd have come out with something crazy. I'd have given him everything. I'd have been like, well, you guys don't understand. He almost didn't start. We gave him 3 IVs. He had unbelievable stomach cramps. He was on the cusp of throwing up all night long. He's not going to tell you that tonight, but I want you to know. I've never seen a guy sicker in all of my life. I thought he was going to be rushed to the emergency room. I asked him if he was going to die before tip-off. I was that concerned. But the warrior that he is, he tried to give it a go, and he refused to let me sit him. In fact, I'm going to get a little choked up talking about this right now. I've never seen a guy with the heart that James Harden has, and it's just not fair to him tonight, guys, if you're going to blame him for our demise. I would go all in.
Blame me for pushing him out on that court. He didn't belong out there.
Right.
But you know what?
But, of course, none of that happened because that's not what happened. Because he doesn't have that to fall on, as far as we can tell, or it would have already come out by now. Some PR guy would have been racing to the Rockets upon that horn going off at the end of that 39-point ass beating and said, what are we going to do? I mean, before you roll him out there, what do we say about that clown show? What are we going to do about our notorious quitter? I mean, do we want to protect him, guys? Or are we going to let this roll? Are we going to disconnect? Are we done with him? Or are we I need to know what we're going to do because I got to come up with a plan.
I can't believe I'm saying this, guys, but I miss Dwight Howard. Dwight was he was something, but
he had infinitely more heart and go-to than this guy did last night. That was woo. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Today, there are over 47 million Ford vehicles on the road, rolling on over 188 million tires. That's a lot of rubber to trust to anyone other than a hard-working specialist at Ford Service. No one knows your Ford better than Ford and Ford Service.
Get a $140 rebate by mail on 4 select tires when you use the Ford Service Credit Card at the Big Tire event. Subject to credit approval, rebate by prepaid debit card. Other tire manufacturer rebate or offer cannot be combined with Ford Service Credit Card rebate or offer. See your participating Ford dealer for details through 6/30/17.
Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot mean you can really clean up. Save up to 40% on appliance special buys, like a Samsung high-efficiency top-load washer and steam electric dryer with platinum finish, just $648 each. You save over $500 on the pair. And just like that, Laundry Day got a whole lot better. Nobody beats our prices, guaranteed. With Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through June 7th, U.S. only while supplies last. Gas dryer extra. See store for details.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay with Miller's Tree Service. When you need work done in your yard, you want a professional, someone you can trust to provide high-quality service and get the job done right. We've got 3 certified arborists and 6 work crews that can meet all your tree care needs. Hire the professionals at Miller's Tree Service, where we'll go out on a limb for you.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-419-2201, 800-419-2201, 800-419-2201. That's 800-419-2201. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/connect. That's ZipRecruiter.com/connect.
Don't miss out on amazing Memorial Day holiday tire specials at your local Sears Auto Center and take advantage of our best tire prices. Now through Memorial Day, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th free on in-stock tires only with purchase of an installation package. And don't forget to ask about our free oil change offer. See associate for details at your local Sears Auto Center. We put your life in drive. Exclusions may apply. Installation packages include 6-month, 1-year, or lifetime alignment. Offer valid through June 3rd.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Libations Friday. Hope you're well. Moms out there, thank you so much. We love you. We hope that you have an exceptional Mother's Day. I wonder, I'm trying to think, Father's Day is not far away either.
Oh, jeez. with the spin job.
How quickly it happens, right?
You know, speaking of a day that involves a parent, Father's Day isn't that far away.
Father's Day is not far away at all. Tom Brady, it's a nothing subject. It's going to be on the cover of the GOAT edition. Aren't you sick of the phrase GOAT? Good Lord. Of Madden NFL 18. And I bring it up because for those of you that believe in curses, you just danced when you found that out. Guaranteed injury, baby.
Isn't it too late? You know, he's already done the damage.
Again and again and again.
They've won the division for 15 years, save for one of them.
The division. That's the fun time. When I sat back, I had Dolphin fans reach out to me after that, and they weren't mad at me because I didn't cause the Dolphins not to win the division any of those years, but rather the Patriots every one of those years. But when we were going through the resume, when we decided to look at all of the times that New England had achieved a measure of success, we were both floored that it was the extent that it was, right? We were saying, well, you know, certainly they've had a hell of a run. They don't have as many Super Bowls as maybe you think they do. They went through that long drought where they really didn't have. So this will be an important one for them to win. And then we went, well, how many division titles do they have? And then remember, we were like, this year. Didn't win it that year, even though they won 11 games with a backup quarterback. This year. It was crazy.
Since 2001, the New England Patriots have won all but 2 AFC East division crowns. Since 1996, the New England Patriots have won all but 5 AFC East division crowns.
21 years, they've won it 16 times.
That would appear to be correct.
That is asinine. That division should lay down and weep. All of them should apologize to the rest of the football-loving universe for their incompetence.
I had forgotten the Indianapolis Colts were in the AFC East before we went to teams of 4.
Right.
But they had won in 1999, the Jets in 98, the Dolphins in 2000, and now we'll go chronological, the Jets in 2002, and the Dolphins in 2008. Other than that, since 1996...
Patriots. Dumb. Can you imagine? I don't even know that it would be fun. Patriot fans are going, no, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's awfully fun. But if I were to say to you, like, hey, Tom, you know, I just don't think the Bucs are going to get to the Super Bowl this year. Oh, they'll win the division like they have 15 of the last 20 years. Just say that's ridiculous.
Well, this must be one of those sports where you could spend as much money as possible on every player.
Nope. Salary cap league designed to go 8-8 for every team. Nobody to any degree of, I don't know, reasonable competence should be mired near last or atop a division for any prolonged period of time because it's not designed for that to happen. And yet the Browns exist, and so do the Patriots. In fact, one might argue the Patriots exist so the Browns must have to. Or the Browns exist so the Patriots must be. That's it. The yin and the yang, baby.
Well, in that division, too, it could be said that the Buffalo Bills exist because they haven't won it since 1995.
When they were on the back end of winning it every year and then subsequently losing each of the 4 Super Bowls that they participated in, much to their chagrin and or kick to the testicles.
I wasn't 10 when the Buffalo Bills last won the division.
It's hard to fathom. I remember that when they were a juggernaut. Hour number 2, forthcoming.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
That's why Superlube offers quick and convenient service with no appointment necessary at any of our 19 area locations. And remember, Superlube offers a free top-off service between oil changes, checking and topping off fluids, and tire pressure. But did you know that right now when you buy one wiper blade, you get one free, just in time for Tallahassee's rainy season? Superlube it every 3 months or 3,000 miles.
How I love to superlube my car, yes sir.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shop's work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities reminds you that it'll be summertime before you know it, and summer's when we all benefit from positive environmental practices, like saving energy, water, and money. Because after all, it's all connected. When your home is energy efficient, you save money on your utility bill, but you also help the environment, because using less energy saves precious natural resources. Here are a few simple tips. Easy things you can do to use less energy. In the summertime, set your AC thermostat to 78 degrees, and even a little higher when you're away from home. You'll be amazed at the money you'll save. Close shades, drapes, and blinds during the day. It keeps the house a lot cooler. Choose the proper AC fan setting. Put it on auto, not on. Auto saves energy, on runs continuously, and that runs into money. And while you're at it, schedule a free energy audit with the City of Tallahassee Utilities to identify low-cost and no-cost ways to make your home more energy efficient. You'll save energy, water, and money, and you'll help the environment too, because after all, it's all connected. A message from the #1 public utility in America. Learn more at talgov.com/YOU.
When the world's largest manufacturer of diesel engines partners with a leading manufacturer of additives made specifically for diesel fuel, it truly is a groundbreaking partnership. Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost, endorsed and recommended by Cummins for diesel engines. Power Service and Cummins, getting two experts in every bottle. Learn more at powerservice.com.
Power Service. Made just for diesels.
The best time to save money is now and later. Do both at the Home Depot when you get 15% off select special order windows and doors, and even installed windows. Saving 15% immediately is great. Saving money for years to come on your energy bill is even better. Upgrade the way your home looks, feels, and saves with 15% off select windows and doors. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through May 17th. Installed windows available in select markets only. See store for details.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. 6 more games left in the regular season for Florida State baseball. 3 at home this weekend against Wake Forest. 3 on the road next weekend at Louisville. Tonight's game 1, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow also 6, Sunday, a 1 o'clock first pitch. After the Louisville series, the Noles will stay in Kentucky for the ACC tournament, also in Louisville. 1 game tonight in the NBA. Boston looks to close out Washington. They lead that series 3-2. Last night, San Antonio took out Houston. They won that series. They'll advance on to the Western Conference Finals against Golden State. Hockey game 1 of the conference finals tonight. It's Nashville and Anaheim. Well, Tom Brady has donned the cover of Madden NFL 18. He is now the oldest player ever to appear on the cover of the very popular EA Sports game. And congratulations goes out to Amy Bond, named the ACC Coach of the Year for the first time in her career. And a school record 4 Seminoles have been named to the All-ACC women's golf team.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're about to embark on a kick-ass Mother's Day weekend, huh? Check us out online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you get to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do, remember this, all 3 hours posted. Limited commercial interruption, both on iTunes and our own Audio Vault. That's all brought to you by our tremendous podcast sponsor. That is CarltonDean.com. You can email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. Thanks for the follow. WTSM app works for your mobile devices, and you can watch us perform the show on YouTube. Go to ESPN Tallahassee or type in ESPN Tallahassee when you get to YouTube, and you'll see us. Hey, ho, ho, how you doing? Florida State, Wake Forest in a couple of hours. Could be the fire starter. Could be the moment we all go, oh, there it is. The team's turned the corner. It's not likely to be that. But they could win that series. I think they will win that series. I said that a week ago, and I don't think they're a very good team. And yet I think they'll win that series, which does set up, at the very least, perhaps an interesting conclusion next weekend to the season on the road against Louisville. If you lose this series to Wake, we're kind of off of you, right? We're just done. I mean, we're just kind of, what are we doing here? Anytime you play anybody who's any good, you lose? I mean, basically that's...
Outside of Clemson.
Yeah, outside of Clemson. Woo suck at Clemson indeed, but, I mean, it's the only thing we've got right about now, and we need another significant series win. This could be one of them. Now, I will tell you, if they were to go on the road and take 2 of 3 from Louisville next week, well, now you have my attention.
It appears the meal was made right on time.
I would be stunned. I would. Okay, now, what are we doing here? I don't think it's going to happen.
This is delicious cuisine.
You know what I do want to watch this weekend is to see if Drew Mendoza continues the way that he's been playing. I mean, this is the guy, really, he's kind of a microcosm of the problem that this Florida State team has had, one of many. And that guy was the guy that we couldn't wait to see, and then that flukish accident happens or injury occurs on a follow-through with a throw, and it really affected this lineup. You've gotten some glimpses of the power that's in that bat and the potential, if there's consistency there, for him to be one of the many guys that could carry you offensively, but maybe the guy that is going to carry you offensively, and give yourself a chance to put pressure on teams night in and night out offensively. And lengthen that lineup. It does certainly hurt to have Applin removed here down the stretch. He's been so consistent, but Mendoza's fun to watch. I mean, he hit one of those balls that still hasn't come down, and he's a guy that they thought we would all be wowed by at the start of the year, and of course, it took him a little time, and that's to be expected because when you come back from an injury and you haven't had the swings, and then you're thrown to the wolves, and, I don't blame them for doing that, but you got to get back out there. It does take a while, almost like an extended spring training that he never really got an opportunity to have, and I think, it's only right that now we're seeing him. And this is kind of what we envisioned, right? At the time that we got the bad news that he was going to be out and that this kid that everybody had talked about, highest drafted player that didn't choose to sign with a team and go to college instead, this is what we envisioned. And then the injury happened, and we said, well, he could be like a big shot in the arm down the stretch. Second half of the season, it's like you just get this free agent, if you will. I know it's college baseball, bolstering your lineup out of the blue, who's got real pop. Okay, well, if that's what's happening here, then maybe, just maybe, they can find a way to surprise us and do so with a lot of 9-7, 8-6 type wins. And because we just don't have any faith that the pitching staff is going to be consistent enough to be able to be banked upon.
It's not like Wake rolls into town winning with starting pitching, though. They can be had, and certainly the thing that would scare us the most is if a team has two ace pitchers and, they don't score a whole lot of runs, but they put it together enough to be a top 10, top 20 RPI team. This is not what Wake Forest is. But if I set the over-under on a Friday afternoon, a little fewer than 2 hours away from first pitch, of 3.5 wins between this weekend series and next weekend series. How you feeling?
I'm going to go under.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd take the under for sure. You'll get two of them this weekend, I think, though. Florida State goes into the game, if you're wondering at home just where we sit from an RPI standpoint. We are at 28. Wake Forest, by the way, is at 11th. Wake Forest is 33-15 on the year. You go back through, Florida State did take care of Clemson. You mentioned that. Took 2 out of 3 from Clemson, and that Clemson team is currently 7th in the RPI. Louisville is who it is we play next weekend, and they are currently number 5 in the country RPI-wise. Of course, Florida, who's owned us, is number 4. North Carolina, who swept us, is number 2. These aren't bad series losses. Those aren't things that you look at and say, well, that's embarrassing. But the sweep hurt you. You had 2 of those games and you found a way to butcher it. You can't beat your rival currently. It's aggravating. Now you get a Wake Forest who's a top 11 RPI, so you got a chance to get a significant series win besides Clemson.
Remember when Florida was number 11 in the country and then ESPN released the top 11 standings for like the only time in their history?
Oh yeah, that was right. I forgot about that happened. Yes.
Just when you said top 11, that was the first thing my mind went to. One of those examples where we lament that a large portion of our fan base wears the tinfoil hat, but then they provide you a couple of moments when
every
you go,
now and then you're like, well,
I can't explain that.
Why are we doing that? What are we doing here?
Why is ESPN releasing the top 11? That makes no sense.
Did you see that we were all wondering, of course, for the last few days, just exactly, if not Jim McElwain, who could that be on the back of a boat if it wasn't the University of Florida head coach, butt naked on the back of a boat, dry humping a shark? Then who was it?
We assume that last part.
The dry humping? Okay, he could have just remained motionless. You're correct. If it wasn't the University of Florida head coach Jim McElwain on the back of that boat laying naked on a dead shark, then who was it? And it turns out that McElwain used to be a New York cop. That is remarkable. Okay, so that's not true. I guess the person that's laying on top of the shark is said to be a former New York City police officer. And I immediately went, I didn't know McElwain used to be a cop in New York. That's incredible. How did he get into college football? That cop is probably, or ex-cop, is probably not proud. Well, certainly he had no pride in the day that he laid butt naked on the back of a dead shark in the back of a boat.
We don't engage in stereotypes here that often, man. But, Sergeant McElwain, I wouldn't put it past the ethnicity or the
man,
the original homeland. That kind of fits, doesn't it?
I see that. You knew the name would come out if it weren't him. I mean, we did talk about that, right? That he was going to have to figure out, how do we pay somebody to make sure we get to the bottom of this so that we can prove to the world that even though I've issued a denial and said on camera it's not me, can we please prove that it is somebody else? Because even my denials right now are just people I can see out in the audience nodding their head going, sure, it's not you. Got it.
Given that, when he replaced Will Muschamp, you thought that the coach-player interactions on the sidelines were going to ease up, and they did not. He has red-faced spit in players' faces as he was yelling at them in the past. I'm going to assume that he's a lot like the other Saban disciples in that he's a control freak. So I'll bet you he made a ton of calls about this story when it came out about making this thing go away.
Well, listen, I got to give love to a colleague of ours of sorts, in Corey Clark. One of the things he brought up that we talked about and that you and I have talked about and really kind of stands out in this story beyond the obvious, which is Jim McElwain's on the back of a boat butt naked laying on a dead shark, allegedly. One of the things that stood out more than anything was that the University of Florida's site, the official, like Seminoles.com, the equivalent, they address this. Like they give an air of legitimacy to this by writing a story on their website about this. How pissed would you be if you're him, or obviously if he's anything like Saban, you would be incensed. What are we doing here? If Linnefelt wrote that story about Jimbo Fisher, he'd cease to have a job.
You see this photo right here? The resemblance is remarkable.
Uncanny.
Writes Gators.com.
It's crazy.
However, Gators.com, and that's not their thing, but has confirmed.
What is their thing? Do you know?
Is it Gator Zone? Something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we'll have to search and find it out.
Has confirmed by speaking to Coach McElwain that this is not, in fact, Coach McElwain.
Not lying naked.
Despite the resemblance,
the
right?
uncanny
Gators,
resemblance. We take you to Ponte Vedra, a beautiful Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, and update you on the Players' Championship. It is the fifth major, don't you know? And at said Players' Championship, you'll note that, T. Lizzie's guy, Louis Oosthuizen, is leading the way at a cool -7. He's 4 under on the day. He's through 12. Some dude named Kyle Stanley is also atop the leaderboard, tied. J.B. Holmes, who is always atop the leaderboard at a time that it does not matter to be atop the leaderboard, is currently there along with them, just a stroke back. And any other significant guys?
You'll see
Phil Mickelson sits in the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. You look above him, David Hearn, Rafael Cabrera-Bello, Patrick Cantlay, and VJ Singh, the purple one, inside the top 5. Vij, where you been, baby?
Old.
He lives over there. And I actually, one of the times I played TPC Sawgrass, I played with one of his trainers who must have mentioned the fact that he helps personally train VJ Singh 55 times during the round. Well, I come over here and play with my friends all the time. I'm not a member. I live over here. I train some of the me and VJ Singh. I train VJ Singh. Oh, do you really? That's remarkable. Yeah, I have for years. Vij's a good guy. He lives actually. If you just go down and then like 2 holes later, one day I was training Vij, and we were out here thinking about playing around together. He used to like to just try to shape shots. Really didn't worry about score, and that's the thing about VJ. VJ is a guy that, depending on how we train that morning, likes to shape certain shots based on the workouts we had. That's a good putt, Jeff. So anyhow, VJ, that's how that went that day.
That's brutal.
It's a toughie.
It's GoCureCancer.com for the Gator Athletics.
Is that right?
No, it's FloridaGators.com.
I would have said that's smart. Like, what are you going to do, rip him? Yeah, I get the joke. I know what you were doing, but it's just, I was like, did they really parlay that into it?
GoLandOnMars.com.
Yeah.
Welcome to the home of Florida Gators Athletics.
John Rahm -4. Other significant names would be Henrik Stenson, who's won this tournament before. Graham McDowell making an appearance on the leaderboard. Hey, now.
So Phil Mickelson, VJ Singh, and Graham McDowell are on the leaderboard.
Doing some things, dude. Poulter was having a good day in the middle of the afternoon yesterday. It appears he has fallen off. Adam Scott is in the top 25.
You see how he finished yesterday?
Oh, Poulter's at -3, by the way. He's right there, too. So Ian Poulter, Graham McDowell, Vijay Singh, and Phil Mickelson. Okay.
I did not see the collapse myself. However, he was wrapping up with his group, and they said on the broadcast that he finished double-double yesterday.
Jason Day?
No, Adam Scott. So he's at 2 right now, but he finished yesterday's round double-double.
Wow. That's rather remarkable. By the way, 2 Knowles in the top 36. That would be Daniel Berger, who is not having a good round so far, but is out on the course and had shot a 69 yesterday. So he's top 25 currently. We'll see what he does there. And the other Knoll is, of course, Brooks Koepka, who started off this afternoon needing to make up ground if he was going to make the cut. He shot a 74 yesterday, but dropped the 69 today. -3 is at -1 for the tournament. Well done, Brooks. That's what you do right there, buddy. It's interesting. You and I noted that a lot of people continue to pay attention to Mr. Rahm because, well, I think it was just 14 months ago he was ranked in the 700s, and he's currently in the top 20. So people are saying, who the hell is this guy? But they're also asking how such a short swing can go so far. And that's a fun, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole on the air because not enough of our listeners care. Go look up the research on how it is he's able to hit the ball so far without even looking like he's got a swing. It's crazy. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Harper Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Staples knows that when your spreadsheets no longer spread, it's time. When your presentations are not presentable, it's time. And when tensions in the office are high,
No, tensions are very, very high.
it's definitely time. And it's times like these when pros turn to Staples. Staples has the latest HP and Dell PCs at great prices every day. And when you buy a new printer or PC at Staples, you get 30 days free tech support. So with Staples' help, your business won't miss a beat. Staples, it's pro time.
This Mother's Day, let Jared turn your feelings into jewelry. Jewelry that tells her she's the best thing that ever happened to you. In a way that goes beyond words. It could be a piece jewelry designers created just for Jared. Or a piece we custom made just for you. Because we're more than a store that sells beautiful jewelry. We're jewelers. The one unique gift that makes her Mother's Day unforgettable. That's why he went to Jared.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Once again, all of you with stellar credit ratings, congratulations. And this message is not for you. All year I've been talking about our New For You program to assist good people with dings in their credit. And just last week, a friend of mine came into my office worried about his own credit rating. But thanks to our New For You program, you guessed it, he drove away in a brand new Nissan Altima. We are proud of the fact that we have helped hundreds of people that were previously limited shopping little used car lots where they overpaid, got huge finance charges, and had very few choices on cars to purchase. Some of those lots may actually hurt your credit more than they could ever help. So remember, credit score under 600? Come on in. Recent bankruptcy? Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan. And come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/connect. That's ZipRecruiter.com/connect.
Don't miss out on amazing Memorial Day holiday tire specials at your local Sears Auto Center and take advantage of our best tire prices. Now through Memorial Day, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th free on in-stock tires only with purchase of an installation package. And don't forget to ask about our free oil change offer. See associate for details at your local Sears Auto Center. We put your life in drive. Exclusions may apply. Installation packages include 6-month, 1-year, or lifetime alignment. Offer valid through June 3rd.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Unfortunate story out of the NFL. Really, former player here. Sad news to report. You guys probably remember him. I certainly do. Don't know if you do, Tom. Former NFL receiver Michael Jackson. Remember Michael Jackson? Kind of hard to. I'll refresh your memory. He's 48, so if you remember him, you'll remember the tail end of his career when he played with the Ravens from 96 through 98. Prior to that, he had played with, of course, Cleveland before they moved and all that, 91 through 95. So it's he was 91 through 98, basically the same organization. You don't remember him?
No, it would be really, really vague.
He was good. He was a good player. Unfortunately, he was killed. 48's way too young to die. Rest in peace, good sir. His motorcycle, and this is the thing about motorcycles, man. I'm not getting preachy or soapboxy here, but when you read this story, you're reminded that as much as I'd love to ride a motorcycle, and if you ever have, it's fun. And there's something to it. You get the draw. I understand why people do ride motorcycles and have fun doing so. I just don't trust dumbasses driving around everywhere, and their mistakes are your death. I mean, that's not like you got no shot. His motorcycle slammed the driver's side door of a car driven by somebody named Destiny Gordon. That's not really, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Here's the details of that. According to the release from the Louisiana State Police, he's riding a 2013 Kawasaki motorcycle northbound on US 51. Gordon's driving a 2014 Chevy Malibu. Gordon backs out of a parking space across both lanes of US 51 into the path of my man on a motorcycle, and obviously he's dead. Was wearing a helmet, wasn't exactly speeding. What are you going to do? I mean, that's the problem with that, right? I mean, somebody runs a red light. She didn't in this case, but that happens all the time. You're dead.
Am I getting older, or are drivers getting worse?
You're getting older.
They're the same? They're as bad as they ever were?
They've sucked forever.
Okay.
Just some people don't drive well, period, and for whatever reason. And, you know, we're always heightenedly aware of that, especially if we're decent drivers ourselves. All right. I'll start with this. My impatience is well known, right?
Sure. It has gotten better, though.
It has gotten a lot better in the car, a lot better. Listen, I mean, it's one of those things where I've learned you can't control it and you need to let it go or else you're going to have a heart attack.
I think it's worse than the golf course than it used to be.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
With waiting. With waiting.
Yeah. Not bad shots. I handle bad shots with the best of them.
No, that's infinitely better.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
No, I don't get mad about bad shots.
Since our first rounds in 2009, that's way better. I mean,
I'll just take a deep breath and walk
leaps
on.
and bounds. No, but waiting on the tee. You kind of look around the corner for a problem. Really, is that somebody up on the green? The hell are they doing?
I don't like to be delayed.
Still putting, are they?
They
teed off when we were on 1, and now we're on 3T, and they're on the green. What the hell's going on here, Tom?
Yeah, well, I do. I foresee the problems. I project that we're going to have issues 4 and 5 holes in advance. But look at that group. They don't seem to be in any real hurry, do they?
Killearn 4 out, 5 back, and you see they're on the fairway of 5. And
what are they?
They waiting to clear the green.
What are we doing here?
He's not going to reach the green in 2.
Just hit the ball. Dude, you got no chance to get that there. Look at you. Yeah, I know. I do that. I got to get better. Okay, so that's next. That's the next one. I'll tackle them one at a time. Traffic, good to go. That said, I do have one thing that can set me off in traffic. It's not people driving too slow.
Is it the blinker?
No. I don't know how it happened, and it does seem to have increased threefold. The turning out to turn.
Oh, yeah.
I got no time.
Like if you're making a right turn, it's almost an inverted P, like a reverse.
Yeah, if you're going down the road, you're turning left into a neighborhood, and you do this temporary swing out wide to the right before you turn left thing. What are we doing here? When did you have to do a loopity-doo to turn? Turn the damn car. You don't have to kind of come on into this lane in order for you to make a turn. You don't have to do that. Stop doing that.
Excuse me, sir, ma'am. Yes, the turning radius on these vehicles is impeccable. In fact, in human history, they've never been better.
It's incredible what you can do with power steering. You don't have to do the whippity-doo. It's something E.J. Manuel would do. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And it really drives me nuts every time. And
a hubcap would come flying off of one of the wheels.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it happens like on narrow roads. If you're driving down Centerville and somebody's like turning into one of those neighborhoods, they'll do that. Oh, I'm going to come way out over here before I got to clear that curve. It's not hard. Just make the damn turn. Advance far enough into the intersection so that you can just turn.
So then let me ask you this follow-up question.
But that's it. That's the only time that I ever say anything. I'm like, oh, here we go with this guy.
Does every town have this problem, or is it particularly bad in Tallahassee where people slow down, make a turn, and don't use their blinker?
It's every town.
I feel like this town has an inordinate amount of people.
I think it's every town.
Who slow down nearly to a stop, make a turn, no blinker. Unbelievable.
I wonder, I got in this conversation, we were talking about going up to Atlanta for the Florida State-Alabama game, and we were talking about traffic in Atlanta, which my brother lives in Atlanta. That's a toughie, man. I don't know that I'd be real good in that. My newfound Zen-like patience would be seriously tested.
It need not be tested yet.
Well, in Miami, too, when I go down to Miami, that's a hell of a thing. And my boy deals with it every day, and whenever I talk to him, he's always like, yeah, it's 8:30 at night, bumper to bumper. I'm like, oh, no. I don't think I would deal with that very well. I don't think I'd be as adjusted. I fought hard to get to this place, and it would all become unraveled. I would just snap, and I'd be back to being the guy that's the road warrior, furious at everybody else, out to get mine, cutting your ass off and giving you the double bird as I go, not even caring. Because that's what happens. The people get so jaded in those markets. Like if you're in a city like Atlanta, or you're in a city like Miami or Los Angeles, if you're in any one of those three places in particular, and you're driving, you care not for your fellow man any longer. You do not have even an inkling of concern about their well-being, and you cut them off, you beep, you call them names that are unspeakable, and you go on Big River, not even worried about their feelings, their thoughts, the people in the car, where they're going, how that affected their day, because you get to that place, you're so jaded that you're like, I don't care. This city gave up caring about me ages ago. I'll cut your ass.
My sister visited here a couple of years ago, and we were making a left onto Monroe from the Parkway, right at the Capitol building. And we're on the inside lane, which would be the left-hand lane as you make the turn. And I'd forgotten that we need to hop over to Gaines. So I said, if you can do it, get over to that right lane before Gaines.
Oh, and she's Atlanta. She's bred. She knows. She's like, get you some, people. Yeah.
I mean, behind us, and she's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
He can honk all day.
Yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well, that was unnecessary. You didn't have to. We could go.
We could have waited. We could have gone to the next block. Oh, sure. It's what happens. I'm
hardened hearts.
Hardened hearts. That's right. They have been beat down. They don't have it in them to care. Their empathy has been removed. I'm in the car with Matt. We're in Miami. He'll just be like, we really got to get over here. I'm like, dude, it's a car. He's like, they'll stop. Jesus.
They'll stop. That's where it's gone.
Yeah, they'll stop. Go, all right, my man.
Did you ever go through a honking phase more than, another time in your life where you would beep the horn for any little infraction?
Yeah, probably. I was a honker when I was young. Well, I'll honk at you for the littlest of things.
That honky's a honker.
Yeah, no, I'll honk. I'm like, oh, you thinking about this lane, are you? Get you some of that horn. Don't you even look in this lane. Yeah, no. I was a preventive honker. I'm honking before you even think about making the mistake I'm predicting you're about to make. I see your body language.
I'm a honking leaner now, because if you do something egregious, I want you to feel it for a good 3 full seconds.
Lay in on it, huh?
I'll honk and lean.
Now, if you bring me to a honk, if we've reached a place now where I've gone ahead and take the glass casing off the button, and it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do it now.
Sure.
We're going to do it now. Yeah.
Green light guy doesn't see it, whatever. Give a little courtesy
honk.
honk.
That's a love tap. That's hey, my man. I know you're on your phone.
Yeah.
Let's go. Stop texting.
But the other day, I'm leaving town, and this Mercedes-Benz, Jeff, with their unbelievable sense of entitlement, sees me coming up in the middle lane up here on Cap Circle and decides, and has time to decide. Plenty of time. I mean, I'm talking 5 good seconds. Do I need to get over or not?
Yeah, I got time.
And then the moment that I'm approaching, get in the lane, I leaned on the horn for a good 6 seconds as they got back in their lane.
You're all in.
Drove up next to him. Gave him a little, hey,
yeah.
No signs, no birds, just looking like real.
Yeah, that's what you are.
That's
what you're out here doing to people, huh?
Ridiculous. This will not stand. You will listen to this horn.
So this is the last of the car conversations. I am, of course, fortunate enough to have a beautiful Nissan Pathfinder, fully loaded, drive in comfort, thanks to my friend Chris Kraft of Kraft Nissan. That said, I recently was fortunate enough with another friend of mine to hop in one of the brand new Teslas that drive themselves.
Really?
I've been in a car that drives itself. We're moving towards a wonderful place in this world where you do not have to be stressed out about long ventures down the highway, where you could perhaps read, watch a movie.
I don't like the sound of that for sports talk radio.
Have a beverage or two. I mean, you don't even need, seriously, you don't. We're not there yet, but
glad we have the YouTube. We're starting that up.
Yeah.
This is a good time to get in on the YouTube.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And Franklin Spring Creek Ford.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Our lifetime warranty is a game changer for buying cars in Tallahassee and Thomasville. You already know it extends the factory powertrain for unlimited time and unlimited miles. But here are the facts. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty is backed by Great American Insurance Company, an A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan's service department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hi, I'm Pastor Richard Ledford. I want to invite you to join us at Restoration Place, Tallahassee this Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. We're located just north of Fred George on Monroe at 3881 Monroe Street. For more information, check us out at myrpt.org. That's Restoration Place, 9:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. See you there Sunday morning.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-509-2163, 800-509-2163, 800-509-2163, 800-509-2163.
It's the place you don't want to tell your mom you go to, but on May 14th, you're taking mom with you. It's Mother's Day at Hooters. She gets her choice of 5 items for free. Mom can choose from 10-piece traditional or boneless wings, Hooters burger, buffalo or grilled chicken salad, as well as buffalo or grilled chicken sandwiches. Remember, no great story ever started over breadsticks. Hooters makes you happy. 2000 North Monroe Street, online at Hooters.com, or call them at 385-2004.
When the world's largest manufacturer of diesel engines partners with a leading manufacturer of additives made specifically for diesel fuel, it truly is a groundbreaking partnership. Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost, endorsed and recommended by Cummins for diesel engines. Power Service and Cummins, getting 2 experts in every bottle. Learn more at powerservice.com.
Power Service. Made just for diesels.
The best time to save money is now and later. Do both at the Home Depot when you get 15% off select special order windows and doors, and even installed windows. Saving 15% immediately is great. Saving money for years to come on your energy bill is even better. Upgrade the way your home looks, feels, and saves with 15% off select windows and doors. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through May 17th. Installed windows available in select markets only. See store for details.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Nice. Old school cult action on a Libations Friday. You know, you go back and listen to the entirety of the Love record, the one before Electric, both of which are incredible. This one stands the test of time, despite, obviously, from the production standpoint, sounding very dated, very 80s. It's just a great record.
They sound like they went all over the place and experimented with a lot of different sounds.
It's two.
Two sounds.
Just two.
They're precisely two, Tom.
Two, but they're distinctly
okay.
Different. They go from this record, which is very new wave, if you will. Very, kind of the first wave of new wave, if you will. It has that sound to it. To being just balls rock, man. Just straight up, here we go. Get you some. Blues-based.
Is that really
bam.
a genre, or is that your terminology?
That's my
for
terminology.
Balls
go
rock.
balls rock out here. And and they're great. I mean, it's stripped down. Ruben produces Electric, and it's just straight through.
For some reason, that resonates with me, and there's a connection between that terminology and the 2013 Clemson game. I just can't. I can't figure out what.
Oh, the 2013.
What the connection is.
That 2013. I think there's still that guy at the gas station is still talking about the two a-hole Seminole fans that walked in after we beat them like a drum and took a picture with the
newspaper.
The newspaper. I still have it.
Listening to Barry White blaring it. In fact,
that was a glorious time. I also think that the media bus drivers,
the shuttle guy,
the shuttle guy's gonna be like, these two cats. Good Lord. All pretense of being a professional journalist has been thrown out the window this afternoon.
No journalists in the world really anymore, sir, but certainly we're entertainers. We're not journalists.
Yeah, we're not really worried about it. Yeah.
Mind us just drinking mini Bielskis, the 8-ounce cans.
Which was an accident,
That was
right?
a total accident.
Yeah.
I felt light. I was like, man, I'm getting stronger.
Nope, those are 8 ounces.
That's the 8-ounce can.
It looks like Andre the Giant holding a beer when you hold one of those things. It's bizarre. So this is interesting. I like to take my shots at the Big 12, but here you go. Today's story. Have you seen the Dave Boren realignment rhetoric story?
We're talking realignment again? What, conference expansion or them blowing it up and moving to other conferences?
USA Today story reads as follows. He is a lifelong politician, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that Oklahoma President Dave Boren can't keep his mouth shut when it comes to realignment, even after an attempt to muzzle him was made 15 months ago, and can't help himself from subtly suggesting again that the Sooners' future may be elsewhere, not in the Big 12. Even as he says he's all in with the league, Boren has become the master of conference realignment doublespeak, never passing up an opportunity to put Oklahoma into wild speculation involving the SEC, Pac-12, or Big Ten. He's done it again. Some of Boren's choice comments to reporters following a Board of Regents meeting on Thursday. This reported in the Oklahoman. I think it's very important for us to always have the possibility of making a move if we want to, but I assure you that we don't have any plans to make a move. That's just my responsibility to the institution, not to get us into a position where we can't make our own choice when the time comes. It's in our interest that the Big 12 succeed. So no, we're not desperate to go anywhere else. How's that for double talk?
When the time comes, too.
I think it's important that we maintain leverage if we'd like to leave, to be able to leave, and certainly I keep those doors open, and I have a list and look at some of the requirements it would take to see us leave the prestigious Big 12, which we have no plans on leaving anytime soon.
Well, I'd like leverage this negotiating table here for my extension and a contract. I don't have any other job offers, no prospects really. But, I'm not going to offer that up. I'd just, like to negotiate a higher salary. And that's what I'd like to do right now. So there you go.
A real quote reads, I've been thinking 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road if there's any need to make a change. But I haven't wanted us to extend our grant of rights by 20 years or something like that. so that we at OU wouldn't have choices. So, see, you're probably in agreement with him here on this.
Granite rights is the dumbest thing ever.
He does admit that, look, Texas and Oklahoma could ensure the Big 12's long-term future with one stroke of a pen. Alas, the Big 12's current grant of rights expires in 2025, won't be extended because Texas and Oklahoma don't want to extend it. So unless there's a new media deal and grant of rights for the Big 12 in 2022 or so, Texas and Oklahoma will essentially become free agents if they want to be, which may or may not happen. And is fun to speculate about, but doesn't do the overriding health of the Big 12 any good. I would say this, come on down, one of you two.
Absolutely. Then we can return to the negotiating table with the bigwigs. Although, who has money at that point? The way things are going now.
Nobody knows how any of that's going to look. I mean, these alleged contracts that are going to be doled out for various media ventures, good luck with all that. I mean, if a place like ESPN, the ultimate 800-pound gorilla, is hemorrhaging money in a way that was completely unforeseen even 5 years ago, there's no way to tell that what's going to happen in 2023, 2025.
To me, this is more fascinating.
I shouldn't say there's no way, but
to the casual sports fan, it may not be the most fascinating thing, so we don't talk about it all that often. But I read something on SI.com today, and it was talking about the nature of a streaming service, purchasing the rights to a big sporting event, be it the NFL on Sundays or something along those lines. And they proved through the research that they've done, aside from sports, that if there is just marginal increases in sales on an Amazon because you put it on Amazon Prime, whatever sports service, that you can make a huge profit as Amazon off of the rights to a major sport. Whereas, you're paying for the branding and for the rights to seem bigger, feel bigger, and be
absorbing
bigger,
the losses.
And absorbing the losses. Streaming services might actually have a model in which they make a whole hell of a lot of money for broadcasting major sporting events. So you're coming at it from a completely different place. We'll see if it actually happens. But if that's true, then yeah, streaming services are the way we're going, and there's no doubt about it.
Well, and I think we're banking on that anyhow, but you're right. That's further
what is
confirmation.
ESPN at that point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll come out with their own streaming service of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
If you're an administrator at, say, Baylor or Texas Tech, it's not too reassuring when Oklahoma, the president, is saying things like this. Don't write us off. You want to hear this? It cracks me up. This is the quote, by the way. I wouldn't write the Big 12 off just yet. It's had its struggles, and obviously our losing the opportunity or letting the opportunity pass us by to have a network win back at the time that networks would have been anxious to have us wasn't good. He's just admitting that the Big 12 is unintriguing to just about every other football-loving fan. Well, that with the not playing defense and all of 12 players that are NFL caliber.
There was a time, when we could have actually gotten this done, but we didn't. And, it's not dead, but you're in the room and I'm hearing the beeps.
Life support is obvious. And from the Tulsa World, which noted that Bourne praised the stature in the academic community of the Pac-12 as well as the Big Ten, he said, we wouldn't walk away from the Big 12 lightly. I'll put it that way. We don't have any plans to leave just yet. There's not any active conversation going on. My man is just double middle fingering the Big 12 left and right here. I mean, we have no plans to leave yet. that is all time good.
Ask me any question you like.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you have for breakfast? See, the thing about the Big 12.
There was an opportunity, albeit 5 years ago. Yeah, it's good. He is not happy with Oklahoma being in the Big 12. And if you're Oklahoma and Texas, you're certainly not happy with the diminishing reputation of a league that for a long time, obviously before it was Big 12, it was Big 8, had a sterling reputation of elite football talent.
It was football. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma, obviously with the national titles that Oklahoma has.
And back then, Nebraska. And
sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, what the SEC is now,
for a long
days,
time, the idea of Texas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, and all, it was.
No more.
Arkansas was
changing. So come on down. We'll expand the coastal, and we'll give it a different name. the coastal Texas.
This all gets back to the greater conversation we seem to consistently have, which is, what is college football going to look like in 5 years, 10 years? Will it be, the truth that finally the Power 5 conferences separate from the rest of college football? There's an expanded playoff. The term amateur athletes is no longer in play.
So play the game if it's going to be either the SEC. They didn't mention the ACC there, but let's just say that, Swafford pulls some ninja stuff that he does sometimes. You would think of those two candidates, Texas would be more likely to join the ACC because A&M is already in the SEC, and I would assume it has some influence over whether or not, the Longhorns join the conference.
I guess I will be surprised if they end up kind of going away. I mean, certainly there are all these conferences have a team or two where we go, well, they don't provide anything. I mean, obviously in the ACC, there are a few teams that we just kind of roll our eyes at. Currently in the Big 12, there are several teams that you would roll your eyes at. Baylor being one of them. They tried to play with the big boys, got caught, cheated over the top. And now, really, I mean, if there's a program that you would like to see the death penalty issued to, it'd be that one. But that said, there are several other programs that are middling at best. Kansas ain't beating nobody. We can go on down the list. But just as it's true in the SEC.
Iowa State.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like Vanderbilt. And, we do this all the time with teams like Kentucky and, in the ACC, Duke and Wake. Yeah, I mean, on and on.
Boston College.
There are always going to be a few of those teams. But I still would be surprised. Look, Tom Herman just got to Texas. Let's see what he does there. If he's the coach that they think he is and he has the success that they're paying him, that he's, like he's going to have, then all of a sudden Big 12's fine. You don't need, we've said this for years, you don't need 8 strong teams. You need about 3 or 4. 3 or 4 good teams that can compete with anybody else's 3 or 4. That's the whole thing. If you have a Florida State and a Clemson and, say, a Virginia Tech and a Miami, if those 4 are capable most years of playing with anybody else's best 4, you're fine. The rest of the conference can be whatever.
And Tom Herman will be just fine. He will succeed as long as the toilet bowls aren't the same color as the home jerseys. Everybody is hydrated and ready to go.
Hydration, boys.
Hydration and grills. That's what Tom Herman brings to the table.
Does Texas do the Mickey Mouse sway back and forth, everybody join arms prior to the kickoff circus act that he had at Houston? Does that happen at Texas? I would think you're bigger than that once you're at Texas, right? We don't do that now. We don't carry that over.
They're still
That's
underdogs.
Some Northern Illinois stuff right there.
They can play underdog roles for the next year or two. I think he brings it with him.
I'd be screaming out, "You're not SMU. You're Texas."
Well, I think that only comes naturally to the swing because if he visits your bed, for bed check the night before and gives you a hug, no, you've seen the videos. It's weird.
It is
He's
weird.
like, "Come on, ESPN, I want to take you as we go through bed check," and I give everybody a hug before they go to sleep.
The oddity is this, right? He is actually a Mensa. He is a really, really bright football coach who's succeeded on the football field. We've seen it as an OC at Ohio State with a national championship there. And then obviously the success he had at Houston is undeniable, although they were humbled a little bit in the course of last season. But they still got to win over Oklahoma, for example, and that was on the heels of having beat us in the bowl game. And, yeah, I mean, they've done some things that, led him to the Texas job. But I don't know why. I get the sense that's not going to be what they thought it was going to be. I don't know why. It's just what I feel.
Over under 8.5 wins this season for Texas. We haven't seen their schedule.
I need to look at their schedule, but I would say over 8 wins. Yeah, I think
so. It would be deemed a success if he goes 9-3 or better.
I would think they're going to win 8 or more games. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it was hard to imagine what was going on there. I felt bad for Charlie, but again, if you're a defensive coach and you don't get stops at some point, you can't chalk it up to the problems that came before. I mean, you got to at least make plays. If they struggled on offense, we would have said, okay, well, it's going to take a while. Got to revamp that whole thing. But, they're making stops on defense, and that's the side of the ball he's responsible for. You'd live with it, right? I mean, when Jimbo think back to 2009 when he got that offense cooking just because he that's that side of the ball. And he thought, all right, well, we're not a great team yet, and we've got a ways to go defensively. But we're moving the ball, all right. The acumen part, the thing he's an expert at is at least shining through. They just didn't have any of those signs. It was weird. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And Star Car EV are on a mission to put a golf cart in every driveway. 14585 Highway 19, South Thomasville, Georgia. 229-228-5297 or online at tntsupercenter.com.
I have known for some time now that some insurance companies are not exactly being truthful with their customers, stating such things as if you do not use one of their approved body shops, they will not guarantee the repairs, or it may cost you more out of pocket. Here at Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, the work we do is guaranteed for as long as you own your vehicle. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, 385-2665.
License number MP46050.
It's that time of year again, Tallahassee. Get ready to hit the golf course for a great cause by coming out to the 28th Annual Fred Biletnikoff Celebrity Golf Tournament, sponsored by the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill. Tee off Friday, May 19th at Highlandman Park Golf Course. Check-in and breakfast starts at 7 a.m., leading up to the big shotgun start. An award selection as well as a silent auction will be held immediately following the tournament at the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill. It's your chance to win auction items, including Reggie Jackson, Terry Bradshaw, and Jim Kelly signed jerseys, a Jimmy Johnson car panel, and best of all, a David Ross World Series jersey. Registration fee for a team of four is just $380 and includes green fees, tournament gifts, lunch, and much more. All proceeds benefit the Brandon Moeller Memorial Foundation and the Biletnikoff Foundation. Help support a great cause and sign up today for the 28th Annual Fred Biletnikoff Celebrity Golf Tournament, sponsored by the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill. For more information and to register your team, call Marissa Wass at 519-2004. That's 519-2004.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Our lifetime warranty is a game changer for buying cars in Tallahassee and Thomasville. You already know it extends the factory powertrain for unlimited time and unlimited miles. But here are the facts. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty is backed by Great American Insurance Company, an A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan Service Department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Live market pricing is better than ever at Werner Hyundai during the Better Than Ever sales event going on now. You'll get the best prices guaranteed. Get up to $10,000 in total savings off a new 2017 Hyundai Sonata, or up to $7,000 in total savings on a new 2017 Santa Fe Sport. You heard right. That's why it's the Better Than Ever sales event. These are the best deals in the 30-year history of Hyundai. Werner Hyundai does quick credit approvals over the phone and offers online delivery. Want to test drive first? Then take a better test drive. They'll pay for your gas if you go to them or deliver
straight to you for a remote test drive. And when you test drive, get a free smartwatch or MP3 player while supplies last. Enjoy a worry-free purchase with a 3-day buyback program and get Hyundai Assurance with America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and 2 years free maintenance. Why shop anywhere else? Werner has the best customer service, test drives, pricing, and warranty. Werner Hyundai, 252 Capitol Circle Southwest, or check them out online at wernerhyundai.com. Must approve finance through Hyundai Motor Finance with approved credit. See dealer for details. Sonata stock number GH329871. Santa Fe stock number HG492731.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. 6 more games left in the regular season for Florida State baseball. 3 at home this weekend against Wake Forest. 3 on the road next weekend at Louisville. Tonight's game 1, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow also 6. Sunday, a 1 o'clock first pitch. After the Louisville series, the Noles will stay in Kentucky for the ACC tournament, also in Louisville. 1 game tonight in the NBA. Boston looks to close out Washington. They lead that series 3-2. Last night, San Antonio took out Houston. They won that series. They'll advance on to the Western Conference Finals against Golden State. Hockey game 1 of the conference finals tonight. It's Nashville and Anaheim. Well, Tom Brady has donned the cover of Madden NFL 18. He is now the oldest player ever to appear on the cover of the very popular EA Sports game. And congratulations goes out to Amy Bond, named the ACC Coach of the Year for the first time in her career. And a school record 4 Seminoles have been named to the All-ACC women's golf team.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week. And I thank you for tuning to it. And a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Loosey-goosey edition of the program today. When you go and listen to the program or go to catch up on the segments you may have missed and you check out that fantastic podcast, you'll note that there are limited commercial interruptions. You'll say, this is a breeze. I can get right to what I want when I want and get through it all in a timely fashion. And that's thanks to our friend Carlton Dean. CarltonDean.com. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Go to Twitter if you like. At Jay Cameron Show, you'll find me there. WTSM app works for your mobile devices, and the show is being filmed. Hello. You can watch us on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. Type it in. There it is. Florida State, Wake Forest tonight gets underway in a little less than, what, an hour? Is that right?
Yeah, that would be right.
Yeah,
in about 40 minutes or so, a little bit more, weather permitting, of course. The
guys out there tailgating, getting excited about the big matchup, the last home series of the year.
Graduation ceremony coming up in about that period of time.
And the years, they go flying by. It's crazy to see a kid who's graduating from college now and to see how young they look. We talk about this all the time, but you're probably now finally feeling that at 30. 30 was the first time it began to really get to me where I'm like, man, these guys are children.
I was at a stoplight, one that I used to be at nearly every day. It was at Tennessee Street in Dewey, and the kids were walking across the street to and fro class.
And they looked like they were 10.
They looked like they were in middle school.
Yeah.
And the way I remember seeing middle school children when I was a junior in high school or a sophomore in college, that's what they look like now.
You know what it helps you realize in retrospect? There were those professors that you had where you could sense that there was an empathy that they had for their students. Like they could relate to them, and they were, they were mother or father-like in their demeanor at times when a student was struggling or needed help with something. Not in your huge classes because they can't do that, but in the smaller ones that you'd have. And I look at it now, and I used to think, man, they're suckers. They're getting played by these, by my classmates. No, because they see these guys as kids, because they are. I mean, yeah, technically they're adults, but they're kids. When you get to your age, and certainly when you get to mine, when you're talking to somebody who's 20 or 19 or 21 even, you have to treat them as an adult. They are. They're a young adult, but just the way you perceive them, knowing what they still have to go through and the things they're going to learn in just the next 7 to 8 years alone, let alone like 20, like you're talking about with me, and just the baby face, all the stuff that you see that you think back reminds you of high school. They're like kids.
Yeah, I can remember, and professional beat writers that probably go through this too if they get on a pro beat early enough. But I'm covering Christian Ponder and Sean Gilmartin and Tony Douglas and
they're
Derwin
peers.
Kitchen, and they're peers. Yeah, we're the same. We're the same. I mean, it might be off by a year or two, but we come from the same place. We come from the same era.
And it's a different conversation than the conversation I'm having.
Yeah.
Because I'm not their peer, and I look to them like a much older man.
Sure.
So that conversation, there's an authority to the kind of question I can ask just for having lived longer.
Well, and I can tell you in the beginning, too, this isn't a referendum on the way I cover the team, but just about peer-to-peer communication. Like, the guys were so much nicer to me than they were to the older reporters,
right?
Because again, we're the same age.
Well, you can relate.
Yeah,
the world is seen through a different prism.
Xavier Rhodes, Greg Reed, Jermaine Thomas, Ponder, all those guys, they were super nice, and you'd get different stories from some of the older beat reporters about which ones of those four guys they liked, or all the other ones that we covered. But then as you get older, it's funny. We go to media day now, especially, and that's when you have to knock out 8 or 9 interviews in a half an hour in one of the rooms upstairs. It's different.
Yeah,
it's different because now they're
different.
kids.
Yeah, and now they're kids. You're right. Yeah, and the biggest change I see from when I saw you covering it back then, I noticed that you no longer ask them to share a doobie, and so it's completely changed. You can't get away with that anymore, and now you got to.
Jermaine, that was pretty cool that you ran for 77 yards in this game. You want to hit up the Palace after we hit this doobie?
Palace, my God.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Palace in forever. And there was a time where I was always at the
Was that your place?
There was a little window, a very small window where I lived near there.
What were your places? As time went on, I'm sure you had many a place.
AJ's was my place. I was always at AJ's. And the regular, the Strip, I mean, just like every other person who ever went to school in Tallahassee, at some point you end up at Bullwinkle's or whatever. But
right. Well, yeah, 21 at that point.
Yeah, no, AJ's
for undergrad.
Yeah, I'm just not I don't like clubs, and I don't like I like sports bars. I always have. I just think it's a nice kind of an eclectic mix of people, or as eclectic as you can get in that situation. But I mean, you had older guys that had gone to Florida State, and they felt comfortable being there, and they're in their 30s, and you could talk to them, gain a little different perspective over darts or something. And then you had the young people, too, because of the specials that were going on there, so you could hook up with a girl or whatever you were trying to do that night.
Yeah.
And so I just liked but I liked the central theme being that I could look up on the TVs and see sports. I wasn't into, club music.
Sure.
I didn't want to go dancing.
What, do you like the acoustic outside and the club inside? That kind of.
It wasn't. No, I never. Like a lot of the stuff that ended up happening long after I was out of school. But the old movie theater that became a club across the street from AJ's, whatever that became. I don't know. That's the Chubby's or something.
It was Chubby's. Yeah, I never went there when it was.
But I never was in there when it became whatever.
I forget what it was called. Yeah,
it was something else. It had been a lot of things.
Then it was something altogether different about 5 years ago. It was a booming nightclub for the EDM movement.
Right, yeah, right. It always felt like a place where the kids were popping pills.
Yes.
And it probably was a place for I've said this before, that I'm so thankful. There are two things that I look back on now and I'm really thankful for, and that is, that didn't exist when I went to school. People didn't. It's obviously now it's an epidemic. It's a terrible thing. The whole idea of people taking opioids or painkillers, that just didn't.
Yeah, the prescription bottle
none
is
of that stuff.
That's something that you would typically see if you ever went to a house party and you weren't really sure of the people. That's how you knew.
That kind of party, huh? No.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no, that was
never. Take it over to Poor Paul's. I'll see you guys later.
By the way, that was my other place.
Okay.
I loved Poor Paul's.
Me too. I still go once every 3-4 months.
I can't do it. They still allow smoking?
Yeah.
I can. Nope. We're done. You know, I used to get so mad. This is a terrible open to the 5. I used to get so mad that that people would complain about a bar that allowed people to smoke, because I'm like, you're at a bar, man. This is what a bar is.
Look, there are pool tables over there.
Yes, yeah.
Dartboards over here.
I didn't understand how that could negatively affect people. Like, I just thought, well, just have your beer, enjoy your conversation, and just go on. You're not smoking. And then, because I don't smoke, if you go into a place, and there are a couple places in town that I really like that still allow smoking, that one in particular, but you go in there, I haven't been in there in years, but you go in there and you're like, oh, sweet Jesus.
Well, some
You're
are worse than others.
I mean, you're done.
Yeah.
You can't, you're hurting the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's its own kind of hangover, right?
It's a different,
You
it's
can even
adding
have 2 beers.
Right.
But yeah.
And that is permanently etched. I mean, in your clothing, you're done.
Poor Paul's has gotten better about it. Their system is better. But I feel bad because my man Joel's out there slinging drinks still. And, I mean, when I first turned 21, he was there. All the smoke that man has had to breathe in. Ridiculous.
He'll be dead next week.
No. He's a good Mets fan. He's a good, loyal Mets fan.
I'm not rooting for it. I'm sure he knows. He's put his life at risk. I mean, that's the path that he's gone down. Yeah, man, AJ's was my place always. And I was deeply saddened when we had the Wayside and became the Burger Joint or whatever it is now. Is that still there?
No, there's something different there altogether.
It's going to turn into some sorry-ass club where people are dancing.
I didn't realize there was an
Popping
extra
pills, no doubt.
I didn't realize there was an extra layer of nostalgia for you when we would do the Friday broadcast there back in the day. So you walked in there and you had this feeling inside.
Oh, I loved it. So if you go back to the season from 2002, I think it's the 2002 season that ESPN did the season, that clip that people will sometimes send me via the internet because I have hair and they think it's funny. Look at Cameron's got a hair. If you go to YouTube and type in the season Florida State or whatever that is, and it's me and Matt Millar, that's filmed at AJ's.
Could he even drink yet? Was he legal?
I think so. Yeah,
I'm sure he was.
I mean, I can't remember. But no. But yeah, I go back every time I see that clip. It's not the hair that I miss. I've grown completely accustomed to not having a lot of hair, and that's okay. In fact, I'd rather like it. Oddly, it's the shirt. I loved that shirt, and it's just a simple FSU shirt, but I loved that particular FSU. You know how we've all had. Okay, so you've had hundreds of FSU shirts. And some that you just fall in love with, the way they lay, the way they sit, the experiences you've had while wearing them, the big wins, whatever it might be, the trips that shirt has taken with you. That shirt kicked ass, and I don't know what happened to it. And every time I see that clip, when somebody sends it to me, I go, oh, that was a kick-ass shirt. I love that shirt. I'm saddened by that disappearance of that shirt.
You know it. I had the fleece. It was the hoodie. It wasn't a hoodie, but it was the fleece, and it had the spear right across the chest.
Oh, yeah.
That thing.
Love that thing.
That thing was sharp.
Devastated when you lost that.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
To this day, I do not know. This is one of the great mysteries of the world. I mean, we're looking for the missing link. I'm looking for a sweatshirt that I have no idea what happened to this thing. I bought it in Chicago. It's just a black sweatshirt, but it's never felt, no piece of clothing, no particle of clothing has ever fit like this thing fit. It was heaven on earth. I would put that on. I'd go, oh, God, this is a good world. And it just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. And for me, it was very expensive. Like, I spent like $40 on that thing, and I was in college. And in 1992, if you spend $40 on a sweatshirt, that's a hell of a sweatshirt. And I don't know whatever happened to it. And I'll see pictures occasionally where I'm wearing it, and I'll go, damn it, man.
There's a girl who was involved in our inner circle in most of undergrad, and we were never involved in any way, but she left her sweatshirt at my house for one of our parties, and I thought I'd see her again towards the end of our times. And I still have the sweatshirt, thinking that, I'll see Courtney W. at some point.
Courtney's like, whatever happened to that sweatshirt?
I have it still. I still have it. It's been 7 years, and I still have that sweatshirt.
You're a warrior. You're doing the right thing
because
you understand.
Yes, it would be like if somebody brought you the sweatshirt and they said, Jeff, it's been years.
I would weep.
In fact, I have your sweatshirt.
I would weep.
You would, wouldn't you?
Oh,
It means everything.
I always told people, Steve, you were a hell of a guy. How did you come to have my sweatshirt? What party did you abscond my sweatshirt? I probably wasn't. I wasn't even coherent, was I? What happened?
You left it in my back seat, buddy. Remember, you were complaining that the air conditioning didn't work in my car.
You know, the other great mystery that stems from college is somebody stole a Goat's Head Soup CD. That's Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup. It was one of the first prints of that particular CD. Somebody has taken it. Just the CD. The case I still have. It's the cruelest thing you can do. I open up that case every now and again as if it's just magically has floated back. Or one of my dear friends took it because they wanted to burn it or something, but didn't have the heart to tell me that they did that, realized that they didn't return it in a timely fashion, and told themselves, well, at some point I'll be over at Cameron's house again. I'll bring the CD along. I'll just put it back in the thing, and he'd probably be cool with it and all that. This crazy dream of mine that's going to happen. So once a year, I'm doing something, reorganizing my CDs, and I'll go, oh, nope, still not there. I don't know why I check.
Well, maybe they're a listener now. You know, maybe they've long since forgotten.
Held on to my Goat's Head Soup CD.
I'm hoping that the kids who stole my $400 iPod from back in 2000.
You're never going to see that again.
Well, it was an 80 gig at the time, which is still kind of big, but
You're
it was
never gonna
the
see
Mac
it.
Daddy.
I hope that's been sold off somewhere.
They were total weirdos, you know, but maybe they're regular adults now because they just kind of walked into the party. Villa San Marco took my thing. They were
just straight ganked.
They came over, had a couple of beers, played a game of beer pong. All right, everybody's got a good
So
time.
they were sizing you up all along.
Yeah, and then the next morning, you know what happened. Wasn't there because we had somebody else's in the media player. So I hope they're adults now and they remember that scenario and they just feel a little bit bad right now.
You know, in fairness, I will tell you that I accidentally ended up with a CD that's not mine. That's a true story. I did not. I would not steal another man's music. You know that. I wouldn't do that. I would not take another man's music.
It depends.
No, well, if I hated the man. No. If I was, if I begrudged him for something. But I'm saying if just I wouldn't borrow somebody's CD and then not return it because you know how I am about CDs. I'm very careful about how I handle CDs too. I hate jokers who don't know how to handle a CD properly.
Yeah.
They get their mitts all over you. Hey, man, you gotta hold the outside when you're putting the CD on. What are you doing? Or you got the little circle in the middle.
Got a beverage here, man.
Yeah, what are you doing? You just all gorilla handing my CD. So I can tell people who know how to handle music and people who don't. But there was a kick-ass double. It's a Willie Nelson CD, but it's a double, it's a whole catalog from when he was young all the way until probably 1994. And anyhow, I have it. And I don't know the dude's name. He left it at my house. He was my neighbor at the time off of St. Augustine. And I was so grateful that he left it because it's really good. And you get in that mood every now and again. I'll throw on Poncho and Lefty or something.
So
and then the next thing you know.
The CD or the full?
No, the full-on case, everything.
I remember this because he moved away. Something happened. He was.
Yeah. I don't know his name.
He got in trouble or something?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. He left. He had to leave. I have it. I didn't exactly seek him out.
Right, that's what it was.
So I wanted a ruling on that. I didn't search for the man, but if he ever got in contact with me and said, hey, do you have my Willie Nelson anthology? I left it at a party. Remember that? We used to do this every Saturday. We'd get a couple of kegs and then we'd have a crab leg party. We'd have everybody chip in and we'd get a bunch of crab legs.
Crab legs?
Yeah. That's near and dear to my heart, Jameis. And we would do the right thing and sit outside and crank music, eat crab legs, and get hammered.
Don't ask me no dumb questions like that, please.
Did you get the butter?
Don't ask me no dumb questions like that, please.
As I understand it.
I believe the process is.
So, long story short, I still have that Willie Nelson anthology.
He went in, he made his order. He actually left for a little bit and came back. Milled around the store some. I think he went and picked up some butter. I forget. But ultimately, he left the store only with the seafood items in question.
So he picked up butter but left butter?
Yes.
Yeah, he left the butter. Somebody stole my Paul's Boutique one time. That's an ass kicking.
Did he actually order those from an employee there and have them?
I believe the process is you go in the store and you order and have them prepared and you pick them up upon exit.
Absurd. You can't take Paul's Boutique from a man's collection. That's just wrong. I immediately went out and bought a new one, but
That's affected you.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's one of the better albums ever made. You don't do that. Yeah, come on, man. What are we doing here? That'd be like somebody's taking a Tom Waits CD from me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming for your kneecaps. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Gaming, Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
We lead busy lives. That's why Superlube offers quick and convenient service with no appointment necessary at any of our 19 area locations. And remember, Superlube offers a free top-off service between oil changes, checking and topping off fluids, and tire pressure. But did you know that right now when you buy one wiper blade, you get one free, just in time for Tallahassee's rainy season? Superlube it every 3 months or 3,000 miles.
How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Our lifetime warranty is a game changer for buying cars in Tallahassee and Thomasville. You already know it extends the factory powertrain for unlimited time and unlimited miles. But here are the facts. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty is backed by Great American Insurance Company, an A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan's service department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Oh no! My lunch has been ravaged by ants.
Go to Bandito's Burritos.
Come see the all-new Bad Boy MZ Magnum and ZT Elite zero-turn mowers at TNT Supercenter. Both models offer the strongest decks in the industry and now have a new deck dial adjustment. Simply lift the deck and set the height with the twist of a knob. Manufactured from 7-gauge fabricated welded steel with an additional 3/8-inch leading-edge reinforcement, MZ Magnum starts at $3,399 and ZT Elite pricing starts at $4,499. Financing with no money down and payments as low as $77 a month with approved credit. TNT and Bad Boy Mower, on a mission to help everybody mow with an attitude.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame he owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, and bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the Tax Relief Line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 888-789-5042. 888-789-5042, 888-789-5042, 888-789-5042.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
That Jake Cameron Show is a member of the Golf Media Now. Do you get free tickets to TPC Sawgrass? Hashtag a-hole. No, I don't. I could push the envelope and maybe make that happen. I didn't this weekend. I should have.
Well, you could definitely get a press pass at this point.
I could easily get a press pass. I probably could have gotten a press pass without my affiliation with SiriusXM and the PGA Tour Network. But it's easier with the PGA Tour Network.
Could you get a press pass to Augusta National?
Okay, so this is a topic that I have, kicked around in my head a little bit here. I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, I've been a consultant for that show for some time now.
You have? Yeah, indeed. As my consultant, I'll see if I can set us up for next year as we cover the Masters.
And then enter the lottery to play the Monday round?
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Buddy. Oh, dear.
Only way we ever get out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, I hope that my affiliation with the head coach at Florida State University, Trey Jones, and the magnificent job he's done will lead to the Masters invite I've so longed for. Coach Trey is a spectacular coach, and I would figure that he would want to show me the grounds where so many of his esteemed colleagues and, of course, players, pupils of the game, if you will, have roamed the grounds. It would be something that maybe as a co-host of a show like Beyond the Tips, Wednesday nights at 9, could draw us closer, create an even greater warmth to a program that is catching on in popularity across this great country. Maybe.
Do you guys actually have metrics? Do they give you metrics on a week-to-week basis? Or they just tell you, great job, we'll see you next week?
True story, SiriusXM, because it's basically a niche thing where all of their networks are, for example, they don't rate the Pearl Jam network. There's an entire satellite station dedicated to Pearl Jam, just as there is Springsteen and other artists. And they don't rate them. No.
Did you guys have to promo read for the Beatles station?
No, but I was really excited to see that it's coming out. But no.
Every other station does. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Well, we do have to cross-read. I do read. I'm forever reading about the NBA. They are sending me stuff about the NBA, or I have to read about the NHL, which I always smile when I read about the NHL because I think of you. It's always like they give me this thing and they'll tell me to preview Game 6 tonight and such, and for all your hockey needs, be sure to tune in to da-da-da-da-da.
That makes me proud.
Yeah, I get those all the time, but I get the NBA one where I have to sell it. I have to tell everybody how excited I am to watch a series that doesn't matter, not even a little bit.
Have you ever strayed off the card there and mentioned that fact?
I have not, but I have had to one time because the way they set this up, if you've ever heard somebody do a read on these satellite networks, the hosts are given their read in the rundown. They'll send you an email usually earlier in the day telling you have a read in segment 3, and it's a different music. So the intro is not whatever your intro music is normally, and it's the sounder. So you'll hear it like, here's what's happening on SiriusXM tonight at 9. And then I come on and say, tonight at 9 o'clock, don't forget to catch the Boston Celtics and the Washington, whatever. So, and then I tell you what channel you need to go to, cross-promote something, tease something else, and then we come back and they play the music. But Trey forgot to give me what they had sent out right as the music's playing and we're live. It's live. I got nothing. And so the music's playing and they're expecting me to read, and the producer's back in D.C. going, "You're on, you're on, you're on." And then he yelled again, "Mics are live." Come on. Because it's it's like a 10-second, 15-second thing. You got to go. And I go, "I got nothing here." And I said that, and then I said, "I'm supposed to be telling you about all the great programming here at SiriusXM, but I can't do that. I've got nothing." Search around, you'll find something. And I could hear the producer laughing back in D.C., and then I'm looking at Trey like, "Give me the thing." He's searching the papers.
The 80s are on 8.
Yeah, I could have done that. 70s on 7, 50s on 5. Yeah, could have done it. All right, so we got to get back into real-life sports here. It is truly a loosey-goosey edition of the Jeff Cameron Show.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
$7 a month with approved credit. TNT and Bad Boy Mower, on a mission to help everybody mow with an attitude.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Super Lube. Super Lube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports History.
May 12, 1985. The NBA held its first ever draft lottery. The New York Knicks won the lottery and would go on to select Patrick Ewing out of Georgetown University with the #1 overall pick. The lottery system was initiated in 1985 due to speculation that the Houston Rockets and others were throwing games to get the best draft pick.
We lead busy lives. That's why Superlube offers quick and convenient service with no appointment necessary at any of our 19 area locations. And remember, Superlube offers a free top-off service between oil changes, checking and topping off fluids, and tire pressure. But did you know that right now when you buy one wiper blade, you get one free, just in time for Tallahassee's rainy season? Superlube it every 3 months or 3,000 miles.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. 6 more games left in the regular season for Florida State baseball. 3 at home this weekend against Wake Forest. 3 on the road next weekend at Louisville. Tonight's game 1, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow also 6. Sunday, a 1 o'clock first pitch. After the Louisville series, the Noles will stay in Kentucky for the ACC tournament, also in Louisville. 1 game tonight in the NBA. Boston looks to close out Washington. They lead that series 3-2. Last night, San Antonio took out Houston. They won that series. They'll advance on to the Western Conference Finals against Golden State. Hockey game 1 of the conference finals tonight. It's Nashville and Anaheim. Well, Tom Brady has donned the cover of Madden NFL 18. He is now the oldest player ever to appear on the cover of the very popular EA Sports game. And congratulations goes out to Amy Bond, named the ACC Coach of the Year for the first time in her career, and a school record 4 Seminoles have been named to the All-ACC women's golf team.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Sounds like the character. If he just said delicious.
A way to play that in segment?
You can find a way to do it. Just use that delicious. Just use it while he's turning the camera on. We talked about this each of the last 2 hours at some point, and I can't stop talking about it, and I'm going to bring it up again right now because I think it's ridiculous, and it actually angered me as I watched it happen last night. I know you watched the game, but for people that are just hopping in the car, I'm gonna bring it up again and stop talking computer. Automatic videos on your computer are the devil.
Autoplay. I heard you. You were trying to cover up the...
Well, I was trying to explain to people why I was going to talk about it again, but yeah, in the meantime, I'm trying to get that audio down. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I hear the Banditos one again.
Well, it is fun. It just makes me laugh.
Ooh, this burrito is delicious.
There you go. Stop it there. So, yeah, next time that we play Spoon, I want you to work in just the, ooh, this Bandito. Burrito is delicious.
All right, I'll work on that.
Yeah, you got to work on the, ooh.
That's a fun project.
It is. No, so I don't think I've ever seen a superstar, a guy considered for much of the year as a MVP candidate. There was months of campaigning. All the Rockets kept promoting, as a franchise that, hey, don't forget about our guy. And the only all-star the Spurs have is missing in the game. The only one. Can't play in the game. And James Harden drops 10 points. He took 2 shots and a half. They're getting blown out at home by 19. He finished 2 of 11 from the floor, had 6 turnovers and 6 fouls. They lost by 39 points. That is egregious. That, and I'm going to say it, that needs to be looked into. There are times you see a bad performance and you're like, oh, it's in his head, man. He can't hit the broadside of the barn. He's pressing. He's struggling. And then there's, what are we doing here? What is going on in this game? As in, yes, he's bought and paid for. Something the hell is going on here. This is crazy, right? If you were part of an investigating team looking into the inexplicable in sports to try to make a connection towards the mob or people somehow getting inside and fixing games, this would be the game. This would be the game where you'd go, we need to take a good look here. I'll tell you why. There's no effort. In addition to no effort, there are inexplicable lapses of just the ability to dribble and pass and do things that are fundamental of the game as if you're actively trying to throw a game. It's crazy. Tim, what's his face, the ESPN analyst?
Legler.
Legler.
Yeah. He still works for ESPN?
He does.
Oh.
Legler did a good job today. I actually happened to run into this and see it. He did a video analysis of 10 possessions that the Rockets had in which they show it's of a half court. You can see the entire half court, not the whole court, right? He shows a missed shot, okay, and then Houston comes down on offense. And now they like to run, right? So they get out. San Antonio misses, Houston runs. That's the beauty of that system. You go now, get a stop, go. They go. They're 4 against 5. He lets the tape run for the entirety of the possession. Harden never shows up on the other side of half court. He's not there. He's literally not there. And he's saying, I don't know what to tell you about this. This doesn't happen. They feed the post at one point. San Antonio goes to double. Guy turns because within the offensive scheme, they're going to have an open three. He throws the ball to where Harden is supposed to be standing at the three-point line. There's nobody on the screen. He's not there. The ball just rolls out of bounds. And he looks at Harden, who's on the other side of half court. I know you watched it. I watched it last night. I'm serious. When I watched that last night, I did wonder, even in real time, is he sick? Is he deathly ill? Is he on the cusp of puking? Are they better off putting an IV in him and getting him back there and playing with whomever they got? Because that's the only way to explain what you saw last night. And it's more fun for us if he's not sick. I'll be honest with you. If he was perfectly healthy and that's the performance we got, then he's never coming back from that. There is no coming back from that. You are not a superstar. You're not even a good player. I don't care if you average 50 a game next year. You're useless to the franchise, their fans, and your teammates if that's what you are when games that matter are being played. No.
All right. And it's an extension of how Game 5 finished. That's the thing. I thought he ran out of gas in Game 5 if you just look at it, by itself. And it makes total sense. He's playing in the low 40s in minutes, and what they're trying to do is run up and down the court. And for a great portion of that game, they were playing at Houston's pace of play. And at the end of the third quarter, it's 82-79 or some such thing like that. So, it's clearly favoring Houston the way that game's going up and down the court. And I just thought, well, overtime hits and they ran out of gas. That's really unfortunate because, San Antonio doesn't even have Kawhi Leonard on the court. You're facing Manu Ginobili, Jonathan Simmons, and Patty Mills, who also is out of gas because he never plays 30 minutes, but he's playing in the high 30s. But then this game happens. And you're talking about 55, 60 minutes consecutively of basketball in which you can look at Harden's effort and say, is this a lone thing? Or is this the moment that it got to crunch time? Well, he froze up to a point that it scarred him for Game 6? Is there something nefarious going on?
I don't understand.
You're asking larger questions about him, one way or the other.
Well, and these are talking points, Tom, that will follow him for the rest of his career, and he cannot refute. There's nothing short of winning a championship and being an MVP in that championship run and winning games in which they're not favored and overcoming great odds to do so. He can never get over this. This is never something he'll shake. It's not.
You're asking today two questions in your own mind, and you went down and started with the second one, this particular segment. But you're either questioning his courage or you're questioning his morality, I mean, these are big questions because, yes, I was stunned, mouth agape. I thought,
he staggered around on national television and did nothing that resembled the game of basketball and the skill set he presented. No, I don't have an explanation other than he was really sick or he fixed the game.
That Aldridge played well, isn't a surprise to me for this reason. And it's amazing how the story flipped from Game 1 to here. Because it was Houston. I thought that Houston had something for San Antonio that San Antonio couldn't answer. Dead wrong about that one, clearly. And then they turned Aldridge loose, who was so bad in Game 1. And I thought, okay, well, from a touch count, he gets the ball much more.
This is part of what we were talking about in the first couple of hours. Obviously, a star got into a rhythm because he was able to see much more of the basketball because Kawhi was on the bench.
But that has no impact on how Harden tries on the other end of the court.
None.
Yes, he got switched to Aldridge a couple times at the post, but he's not guarding LaMarcus Aldridge. That should have zero impact on everything that Houston wants to do offensively speaking.
Never seen anything like it. I've never seen listen, that thing we do where we talk about LeBron's game in the series against Dallas and we talk about him shying away from moments, it didn't resemble anything like this. Go back and look at the tape of that. It's bad at times, but that's him trying to figure out whether to defer to another superstar or not. There ain't another one on that team.
No.
He's the guy.
This is the coming-of-age film that they sell and market to teenagers where the kid has his girlfriend dump him or something before, a big game, and he just completely caves. And you say, well, that's Hollywood. That doesn't really happen. Yeah, it did. It just happened. We watched it last night. It was stunning.
I just don't think I read a lot of articles today trying to find. I went local in Houston to read. I wanted to see, was there something we're not hearing about nationally because I don't want to misstep here and infer that this guy either threw the game or is a coward without there, and yet somewhere out there's evidence of something we didn't know about, like a stomach virus or, like sometimes things like that could get overlooked. It's rare. You're not going to be able to dismiss this performance at any point. If they don't come up with something, if we don't find out a day from now, a week from now, 3 months from now.
Detached groin.
Right. If we don't find out that, listen, I hope nothing tragic happened in his personal life, but if we found out something did, a relative of somebody, of him died or something inexplicably or tragically through, whatever, and he didn't feel like sharing that, and then it came out later on, okay, we'll all back off and say, oh, my God, he was in the midst of mourning and basketball didn't matter to him at all, Oh, okay. But short of something like that, something so outlandish, there is never coming, you can't come back from this. And it's just basketball. I get it's all relative, but and screw you. I mean, that's crazy. And we hyper-focus on these guys all the time that are superstars, but that he was rallied around by Houston, its teammates, its coaches, and everything. They talked about him. That's your real MVP. That's the guy. I know you guys are talking about this guy and that guy. It's this guy.
Then he reverted to the worst version of himself that everybody thought he was.
It's crazy. Remarkable. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Lube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos Burritos, baby.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Ba-da-ba. Good Lord. I didn't know that Houston was 24-11. Did you?
Yeah, actually, because Texas is the one that they expected to give them the most run, and Texas is awful, even though they had a walk-off last night.
That ball was pissed on, huh? I watched that thing and started chuckling when he hit it. When he hits home runs, he hits home runs, manly home runs, because he doesn't wear batting gloves. He's huge, and he doesn't get cheated.
He's only hitting 170 this year, but
I know.
after he hit that, I said, well, he's on steroids, because nobody hits the ball like that.
It's beautiful, though. I love the way he hits the ball.
And it does fly out of Texas. But, yeah, today they were noting on MLB Central that Dallas Keuchel has by far the best batting average against numbers when he's facing left-handed hitters. They're only hitting 111 off of him, 114, something crazy like that. So if you're a lefty, yeah, you might as well ride the pine when Keuchel's going to the hill.
Don't want him around. Don't need him around there. Wrapping it up, Libations Friday. Loosey-goosey edition comes to a close. Florida State going to win the series?
Yes.
I think so, too. I think they'll take 2 out of 3 against Wake. If they don't, I won't pick them to win another game. Literally. So, but they're going to take 2 out of 3, and we're going to be feeling good about ourselves, and then we're going to get swept by Louisville, and we'll see where that gets us. You know, Louisville loves putting it on Florida State, too. They're just like giddy, looking ahead. They're like, ooh, Florida State's going to town, because they make their reputation off of us.
Over under the run per game count you need to take 2 out of 3 from Wake Forest. That is to say, on average, how many runs per game do we need to score?
7.
Okay.
It's college baseball,
right.
man. We score 7
so,
runs.
8-6 action tonight. Maybe some.
Yeah, which one? Are we starting Sands?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I guess
it ain't Carlton.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like. We're hosting Wake Forest, who's 33-15, 15-9 in the ACC. Of course, we're sub 500 in the ACC. And here it begins. It's a 5-game win streak that we have going into the weekend, which is fresh off the 21-2 beatdown of Jacksonville, much to the shock and dismay of Matt Millar. And that's been a couple of tape measure dongs as hit by Drew Mendoza.
Whoa, buddy.
Tape measure dongs. And Friday and Saturday's games will be at 6 o'clock, so that's today and tomorrow. And then Sunday's game is at 1 o'clock, per usual. By the way, tonight's game is senior day. 6 players. We doff the cap and say thank you for your time here. Quincy Neaporte, who's been a fun watch in his time here. Matt Henderson, Alec Bird, Jim Voiles, Hank Trulock, and Brian Bussey all get the nod tonight. We all say thank you to them. And the graduating players will be honored before the game. So here in mere moments, in an on-field ceremony with University President John Thrasher, the seniors will also be joined by Andrew Karp and Will Ziersow, earning their degrees after missing last weekend's commencement ceremonies due to the series against Pacific. So good for them.
My question would be, is Q's walk-off blast with the bat flip against Florida, is that the last time we beat them in the regular season? Because I know we beat them, obviously, in the Supers last year with Carlton. But
we didn't beat them at all this year?
No, I don't think so.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
No, I mean, we did score 2 in the first inning.
We finally scored, but we didn't win that game. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it's sad that I had it mixed up, that I was so celebrating the 2 runs that you correctly predicted with bold predictions.
The old big board.
Yeah. And went on to score a bunch of runs, just couldn't stop them.
Sure.
Even they don't score a lot of runs, but we gave them up anyhow.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
now,
lots of them.
The softball team did walk off against Florida last week.
They did, and that ball was pimped. I was proud of her.
Yes.
She hit that, hands to the sky.
Pimp juice.
That's when I yelled, "Get off me, bitch," which is so beautiful for softball. Anyhow, so, it was well done. Yeah, so we have to rely on the softball team, who housed Virginia 16-0 yesterday, man. What are we doing up in Virginia? It's not, here comes Virginia.
Friday.
No, ain't happening. Not for Virginia. It's here comes Florida State. Better limber up. 16-0. Good Lord. It's softball, ladies. What are we doing? You can't get beat 16-0?
Oh, yes, you can.
Apparently.
And we will deliver the beating.
Boom. Boomstick. All right, let's go ahead and do probables here.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Pirates lost 2-1 last night. Scored 1 run. It's going to be a long year.
Well, Greinke's been great this year.
1 run. Night before, we scored 2 runs and a loss. And the night before that, we scored 2 runs and a loss. And the night before that, we scored 1 run and a loss.
Okay, well, there's a trend.
Yeah, a little trend. When Gong and Marte, McCutcheon's not better than Tom Lang. I mean that. So we don't have anybody. Polanco went yard last night, Matthew. Polanco went yard last night, buddy.
Wrapped it around the right field foul pole. Said, that's not a foul pole, it's a fair pole.
And there's a drive. All right, Astros, Yankees, Lance McCullers Jr. Jordan Montgomery goes for the Yanks. And the Astros aren't having it. Apparently, I've been in the weeds on the Astros. Out there kicking ass and taking names. Phillies, Nats, Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta sounds like a guy that is in sales. Tanner Roark goes for the Nats. We got Seattle Mariners, Toronto Blue Jays, Christian Bergman, Joe Biagini, or Genie. Braves, Marlins, Mike Fultinovich. Oh!
Wow.
Jose Urena. Twins.
The old skirt pie.
Yeah. My computer just flipped out on me. I've been saved. Jose Urena. Twins, Indians, Irvin Santana, Josh Tomlin. Those are easy names to say. Rays, Red Sox, Alex Cobb. That's your boy.
All right.
Cobb allowed 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks in 8 innings of dominant pitching against the Blue Jays.
Here comes Cobb.
Unfortunately, he came away with a loss. By the way, in his last 2 starts, Alex Cobb has an ERA of sub 1.3, and he's 500.
He's back. I knew it. I could feel it in the air when I asked you the question.
Come on, Cobby. I like calling him Cobby. Rick Porcello will go for the Red Sox. The A's and the Rangers, Jesse Hahn, Andrew Kashner. Let's go Mets against the Brewers. Boy, that fierce competitor always locked in great shape and focused on his future. Matt Harvey gets the start.
For his 5,000 fans, get a Matt Harvey mirror.
He'll be going against Matt Garza, who's inexplicably still in baseball. Harvey will be pitching for the first time since the Mets suspended him 3 games for violating a team rule. Padres, White Sox, we got Chacin and Miguel Gonzalez there. We got Orioles, Royals, Dylan Bundy. Danny Duffy. See, I like that. That's good. Dundee, Buffy.
Did you switch the letters?
Yeah, I did. Bundy, Duffy. Cubs, Cardinals, Eddie Butler, Mike Leake. We got Dodgers, Rockies, Clayton Kershaw, Tyler Chatwood. Pirates will throw Tyler Glasnow. He'll lose 2-1 to Patrick Corbin of the D-backs. Tigers, Angels, Jordan Zimmerman, Matt Schumacher. We got Reds, Giants, Scotty Feldman, Johnny Cueto. Let's go, Johnny Cueto. Make it happen, baby. And that's a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Cricket. A little golf in the morning, huh? Could do a little golfing at some point tomorrow? Perhaps
in the morning?
Some cocktails or something?
Is this a question?
Well, I mean, it's just I'm throwing it out there. I'm spitballing at the end of the show. What do you think?
I'm up for it. That's what I think.
I think if I'm in town, it's going to happen.
Oh, you're leaving town?
Some questions. We just don't know yet.
Any good reasons?
Oh, yeah, no, nothing but good reasons. Okay. I may surprise my wife.
The FBI isn't in town?
No, I'm all right. Everything's good there. No, I just may surprise my wife. Or I may not. I may just say, nah, I'm not going to surprise her. I'm going to go golfing with Tom.
There's the surprise.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I know it's Mother's Day week, and I'm golfing with Tom. What do you say there, sweet cheeks? Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Getting out of here first thing in the morning.
We're taking it up. We're going to do the trail in Alabama. I'll be back on Tuesday. You lock it down with the kiddies, all right?
The Robert Trent Jones golf
I've
trail.
never done it. We got to do that. That's what we got to do. Hey, Robert Trent Jones people, this is me shamelessly plugging and asking for some trade maybe. We'll help you out. We'll talk about Robert Trent Jones. Just Tom and I. We need like a couple cabins and a week's worth of passes for the whole trail there. We'll do it up right. That wasn't illegal what I just did, is it?
No,
but just a little shaky.
Yeah.
It's not fulfilling content.
It's not shaky if they say yes.
Good work out of you. Thank you, Matthew. To those that called and or listened, surely do appreciate it. You guys be well. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the series against Wake, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.